titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo. I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties. Woohoo! I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off.
The whole argument.
It pisses me the fuck off. Big titties that she's gonna just woohoo! Look at my big titties.
In the link,
I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off.
You can go read the
It pisses me the
that
fuck
I had
off.
with
Big
Doug Mesner,
titties that she's gonna
Johnny
just
Dub,
woohoo!
whatever you wanna
Look
call
at my big
I see
titties.
that they have fucked with my numbers.
Woohoo!
They're trying to
I
shut
find
me
it
up in the
creepy.
worst
It
way.
pisses me the fuck
But
off.
so the whole
It
thing
pisses
about
me the fuck.
because he's using. No, I don't get any numbers. So obviously, the whole argument between them murdering my friend Owen and bragging about it has become a contention, because if you go click on the description in the link link in the description, you can go read the conversation that I had with Doug Mesner, Johnny Dub, whatever you want to call it. I see that they have fucked with my numbers. They're trying to shut me up in the worst way. But so the whole thing about a contention, because he's using my sister's argument, Owen killed Owen. That's what, nobody knows what killed Owen, because he never had an autopsy. Owen didn't have an autopsy. And Sarah, his daughter, told me she never saw his body. And they can say whatever they want, but Daniel Dowd as Pootie Twang was posting live videos of Harlan at the same time. Owen ended up dead. Geo Farnsworth was posting shit on YouTube suggesting that he was also in Harlan. I was getting all kinds of emails from that Andy Villa dude, and with a picture of the front of my house that was freshly painted. That was the picture and the argument that I had. That was what Neil Gross and I got into a fight about, because he started talking about a picture that didn't have anything to do with anything and an email account that didn't have anything to do with anything. It was the Andy Villa account. And he ended up sending us a group email in 6 months later, because I was making a contention with this. They fucking murdered my friend. How do I know this? Because they bragged about it. Just like last Friday, they bragged how they were going to fucking hurt one of my dogs, and suddenly, Sunday, one of them got poisoned. Same fucking thing. As far as Owen Wingert goes, do I think that Leanne weirdo that he found from Alcoholics Anonymous and moved in with him, was she part of it? I can't discredit it. They'll use it against me that I didn't go to Owen's funeral. And do you know how they know I didn't go to Owen's funeral? Because they tried to break into my house at 11 o'clock when Owen's funeral was going on. And they realized I was home. Caught it all on video. It's on YouTube too. You know? Didn't catch them, but they tried to get into my house during there. And so, sorry. The whole thing about Owen's death and it being in Omaha with the Omaha police don't want the Ricky Chaddock thing coming out anymore than the Thomas Schoenberger and Lucian Greaves and Gabe Hoffman and Michael Aquino and all of Sewertown. They don't want that coming out either. Because if it comes out, then the question is, what happened with the DNA that I gave Nebraska State Patrol John Pankinen to compare it to the Ricky Chaddock case? They didn't murder Owen because Owen was my friend. They murdered Owen because Owen's brother Neil was Ricky Chaddock's stepdad. And they wanted to pin the abduction and murder on Neil. And it wasn't Neil, it was my dad and my stepmom. But they wanted to pin it on Neil. So they murdered Owen. And why would the Omaha police be considered? They don't want it coming out anymore. If it came out about John Pankinen, you know what John Pankinen is really well known for? He's the one who shut up Alicia Owen. He's the one who put her in jail for perjury because she wouldn't take back what she said about what was going on in Omaha. He was behind all of it. He was behind Alicia Owen going to jail. Hey, Susan. He was behind Alicia Owen going to jail. He was involved with Franklin the whole entire time. And so Owen is a big deal. They're using Kathy's bullshit. But Kathy knew they were going to come in and murder Owen. You know? Kathy knew they were going to come in and murder Owen. As her brother, having conversations with her, that's the reason why I will never talk to her again. And why? Because she's a petty fucking bitch. She was mad at Owen because Owen and I had become friends, and she was mad about it. So she just knew they were going to come in and slaughter him, and she just did nothing. She just sat quietly by and now wants to act like a fucking victim about it. That's the conversation that I'm having with this Johnny Dub. You know what his distraction is? Accusing me of being sexually attracted to his fucking pedophile ass. Which, when I read that this morning, I actually vomited a little bit in my mouth. It caught me to the point where I had bile that came up. You know? I'm not attracted to his fucking pet. But his argument that I'm attracted to his pedophile ass, Corey Daniel tried to do the same exact thing. Corey Daniel and Alicia Ray, when I was saying they were all involved with the murder of Isaac Cappy, what was their distraction? Oh, you can't listen to me because I'm interested in Corey Daniel's ass. Those are the arguments that they will pose. I am not attracted to Johnny Depp. I don't believe that I believe Johnny Depp is either Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, or directly connected. And Sarah Adams. Wow, what a surprise. And if you read that email, she's going on Titus Frost tonight. Wow, what a surprise. I said that Sarah Adams was directly connected to Thomas Schoenberger and Johnny Depp, Lucian Greaves, and Titus Frost. And now she's going to go on Titus Frost, I guess, tonight. What the situation, it's similar to something. Oh, yeah, my old moderator, Sharon Schlechter. I said she was connected to Sewertown. That's why I told her to go fuck herself. And what was the first fucking thing she did? Her and that Smokey the Clown, they went on Sewertown. That's the first fucking thing they did. This is all because they want to close down their pedophile shit. The reason why they just tried to kill one of my fucking dogs is to shut me up about their pedophile shit. The reason why Alex and George break into my house almost every day now. It's meant to be as a fucking serious form of harassment. If I leave, I can count on them coming in. And they do stupid shit to let me know, like change the time on all my on a bunch of my clocks in the house. They don't lose time when I'm here, but if I leave and I come back, fuck, some of them are fucking hours off. Especially in my office and my studio and my workroom. It's just funny how it works. Maybe I have a fucking poltergeist, you know? Overwaters one plant, you know? Brags about it, does all the shit, but maybe it's a fucking poltergeist. But then they fucking steal shit out of my house, and then the fucking assholes end up sending me emails telling me what they stole out of my house, like that laptop. You know? It's not magic. It's not Voldemort. It's the fact that their pedophile operation is still going on. The shit that Jeffrey Epstein was involved with is still going on. It's still happening. It's never stopped. Michael Aquino, Thomas Schoenberger, Gabe Hoffman, Lucian Greaves and his whole fucking satanic temple little minions bitches with their satanic temple after school daycare, which is how they're targeting the fucking kids. Corey Daniel, aka Phoenix Enigma, Alicia Ray, aka the Sicilian Witch. I like to call her the Sicilian Skank, but that's just me. Because she doesn't seem like a witch, but she definitely fits the latter. Jesse Davis, Paula Davis, Tara Joyce, Daniel Dowd, Gio Farnsworth, Brett Trimble, Manuel Chavez, a.k.a. DeFango, Craig Sawyer, Titus Frost. There's a whole fucking group of them. And they're all connected to the fucking CIA. This child trafficking bullshit has gone on the way it has because our own government is involved. And the rest of the world fucking knows that. Do you know that the rest of the world not only despises Donald Trump, but we fucking are okay with pedophiles? They think America is okay with pedophiles. That's what they think. That's how they view America. That we're okay with pedophiles. Something to be fucking proud of, huh? That we're pedophile protectors.
pedophiles and loppers and grifters, oh my. We take them down in sewer town. Yeah.
The power of crust compels you. The power of crust compels you. Hey, stop that. No crust for you. The power of crust compels you. Fuck off.
Pavana, the lovely Pavana. We're going to crown her the Queen of Sewer Town. We're now dubbed the Queen of Sewer Town.
There she is.
We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick on destiny, 'cause you don't know us, you don't belong. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. We're right, yeah, we're free, yeah, we'll fight, yeah, you'll see.
Fuck around.
Find out.
Fuck around.
Find out.
We take them down in sewer town. Yeah.
Yes, John. Yes, a little bit more than usual. Apparently, my cease and desist letter that I sent out to several of these idiots have triggered the shit out of them. Schurter was pissed off because I mailed it to his address. I mean, where are you supposed to mail it to? Somebody else's fucking address? So it's kind of like, wow. And then Denise was pissed off apparently because I spent $12 sending hers to her priority mail so that I knew when they were delivered to everybody. And Thomas is also kind of been out of shape. And, he's trying to make everybody believe that these cease and desist letters aren't binding or legal because, I didn't have a lawyer write them up, which is hilarious. It is a fair final warning to them that they have 10 days to stop what they're doing and take all the shit down, or I will commence with legal action in a court of law. That's what a cease and desist is all about, giving them fair warning. Although Thomas is trying to construe it as a threat to them and witness intimidation and, all that crazy shit. But, whatever, guys. Think what you want. When the legal papers start flying, then we're going to see how y'all want to react. Then we're going to see how y'all really want to react. But we'll take a look at some of these streams that happened with their reactions. Schurter's done, I don't know, 3 or 4 short ones over the last few days. Denise did like 2 of them. And, she's stupid. She just keeps on, bring it. You got nothing, But it's pretty obviously what I have. It's pretty obvious what I have. And it's over a terabyte worth of shit on all you freaks. And yes, you've been maliciously attacking and defaming the shit out of my family, my business, and many other people online. And you've been doing it with malice, without a doubt. And it won't be hard to prove. It will not be hard to prove. So y'all just think that it's, veil threat, and, keep fucking doing what you're doing, and you're all going to find out, because we are in that find out stage. You done fucked around too long, and now you're going to be in the find out stage. So that's just where we're at. The last stream, I believe, we shared the cease and desist letter that I sent out to several of them, as Denise says. It was very straightforward and to the point. They can think it's fake all they want, but as I said, the clock's ticking. The clock is ticking. I gave them 10 days. If they want to ignore it and talk shit, and they want to beg me to sue them, they're going to find out the hard way. They're going to find out the hard way. But anyway, we'll finish listening to this little shorter ditty, and it's better than halfway over. And then we'll get into the ones that he's done since he received his cease and desist letter. They're pretty comical.
But that's what this whole situation is all about. That's what this whole situation is all about. And the whole thing about Owen is because they didn't want this stuff with Ricky Chaddick coming out. Because then John Pankinen is going to come out, and they already are having a problem with stuff coming out with the Franklin stuff, because everyone's talking about it. Now with this Epstein stuff, it's just too similar to everything that's going on. Well, of course it was, because Franklin was a precursor to what happened on Jeffrey Epstein's island. People in Omaha know what the real shit is that was going on that island. Why they're hiding it so much. Because it's been an open secret in Omaha, Nebraska for a long time. That's the reason why Gabe Hoffman uses his thing. It's just like Tara Joyce, Not My Rabbit Hole. The open secret, Gabe Hoffman isn't telling you the truth. He knows exactly what that open secret is. He's heavily involved. Heavily involved in helping hide it as well. I don't even know what an anti-sodomite is. Why would I spend 59 years as a gay man? And as far as being Jewish, it's stupid. I've never been in a synagogue. Never even opened up or read anything of the Torah. But they're going to claim I'm Jewish. Anything to distract from the fact that they fucking murdered Owen. And they bragged about it. They blew up that gas station. And they bragged about it. And Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross has helped them the entire fucking time. That's why. Since I've gotten into Iowa, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross has been 100% behind them, hiding their pedophile shit.
Of course he has.
People could have died in that Early, Iowa gas station. Almost did. Almost did. Owen did get murdered. And Neil Gross knew about it the whole fucking time. He's known about everything. He knew about everything that was going on in Erlang before the gas station was blown up. He knew about it all. That's why I hold him personally responsible for all of it. That's the reason why I've sent the dark, and I concentrate on it today. As I've been working out in the yard, I have focused on it more than once. Torah is the same as the Old Testament, okay? Then I did, because I've read the Old Testament, obviously. But that's because I like the Old and New Testament. And I like both of them. I also like the Dead Sea Scrolls. You can find all of it in the Ethiopian Bible, from what I understand. But when it comes down to it, it has nothing to do with anything. It has nothing to do with anything. What difference would it make if I was Jewish or not? Why? What difference does it make? I think the whole fact that they're fucking kids, and that's what I'm trying to expose, and they're murdering people, and that's what I'm trying to expose. I think those things are a little bit more important than my sexual orientation or religious orientation. But I'm not a fake sodomite, and I'm not a Jew. And I'm not sexually attracted to Johnny Depp. I think that whole distraction was pathetic. It's not like I haven't been there before. And Corey Daniel, when he said it, I did the same thing because I find Corey Daniels incredibly unattractive. I don't find any of them sexually attractive. But then I'm not attracted to garbage.
Oh man, he's not.
I'm not attracted to garbage.
Poor Corey.
But they're all focused on that.
Poor Corey.
You know? I believe Thomas Schoenberger is a closet homosexual. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I think he's involved with all this. I think he's in charge of this fucking child trafficking thing. And I think he's a fucking child trafficking pedophile. That's so much more important than whether or not he's a fucking closet homosexual to me. Just me. I think them murdering kids is a little bit more valuable, a little bit more insightful, a little bit more important than who he's attracted to and who he's not. Just me. Maybe fuck murdered kids and trafficked kids and sexually abused kids. Maybe they do matter less than who the fuck they're all fucking. In an upside down world, maybe. You know? In an upside down world.
Oh shit! I know.
I look at all of them as fucking pedophiles involved in a child trafficking ring. I despise every one of them on a fundamental basis. And again, Sarah Adams, you have nothing to fear from me. But Max, I don't know what the fuck you did to him, but he wanted a door open, and I did. He has full access to you anytime he wants, and he can take anybody he wants through that door. I only have one caveat when I open doors for people on the other side. No.
So for those of you who came in a little bit late, we just want to show you a clip from his most recent stream today, and I think you guys will really like it.
Titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo.
I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off.
We find you pretty creepy, Dave. To be honest, just what you did right there in your stream, that was creepy as hell.
Big titties that she's gonna just woo-hoo, look at my big titties. Woo-hoo.
I find it creepy. It pisses me the fuck off. It pisses me the fuck off.
You can't make this shit up, guys. You can't make this shit up. That was actually him it was a clip of one of his live streams today that we'll be watching.
No fucking mercy. And he was, more than eager to agree to that. I don't know what the fuck you did, but I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes.
He was talking about Sarah Adams.
Sarah Adams was sent to me by Thomas Schoenberger, so that they were hoping that I would publish her stupid shit about Tara Joyce. So then Tara Joyce would have a reason to come at me. Because right now she doesn't have any reason.
Oh, she's got
That's the whole ploy to that. Sarah Adams was always part of their fucking group. That's why she's going on Titus Frost tonight. She's always been part of their group.
Oh, just like your stepmom, Joanne, or whatever the hell her name is. You claim she's part of Sewertown. She's never been in the chat or even watched Sewertown that I'm aware of. But you claim she's part of the group too, right?
But she is fucked. I wouldn't want Max after me. I'm just saying. He seems like a formidable opponent for sure. All of this is about their fucking pedophile operation. Every bit of it.
He always turns his head to the side when he's drinking. I think he wants everybody to see that, liquid going down his turkey gullet neck.
All of their distraction. They murdered Owen because they knew that Owen agreed with me that his brother Neil had nothing to do with Ricky Chaddock. They knew that. And Owen was a therapist, well known, great reputation. It would have given me credibility. So that's why they murdered him. And the Omaha police were more than eager. The dude never had an autopsy. Sarah never saw her father. She never saw his dead body, and he was cremated immediately afterwards. Do I think Leanne was involved? Yeah. The reason why I didn't go to Owen's funeral is because that Leanne bitch had already tried to move into my house. I'm not shitting you. And every time she got around me, she couldn't stop touching me.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to see my sister or my family, and I knew they'd be at Owen's funeral. That's why I didn't go. The very person that I would want to see was Owen, and he wasn't going to be there.
Oh, he was
And
there.
all the people that I knew that I didn't want to see, that Leanne bitch, my sister Kathy, her kids, didn't want to see any of them. Best way to do that was to avoid the whole situation.
Uh-huh.
But Kathy, by her own admission, was in contact with Daniel Dowd. They were talking, that's what she claims anyway. I think my stepmother, who's fucking right up Sewertown's ass, knew all about Owen.
Uh-huh.
My stepmother, who fucking murdered, was involved with the murder of Ricky Chaddock. My
Right.
stepmother,
Right.
who was with my dad, and she's up Sewertown's ass. They
Why
knew
have
about
these
Owen.
people been arrested?
That's the reason why Sewertown and Lucian Greaves, Doug Masenko, founder of the Satanic Temple, is so hand in hand with my stepmother too. Because when it comes down to Ricky Chaddock, my stepmother and my father abducted and murdered that little boy. That's what started this whole fucking thing in 2007. The whole thing. It's what started it all.
Right. Right.
And they can play around. They can just tell everyone that they're gonna fucking hurt one of my dogs, and then suddenly one of my dogs gets poisoned. Just like they fucking bragged about murdering Owen.
Right.
Okay. So Daniel Dowd was in Harlan at the same time that Owen died? Wow, what a coincidence. What the fuck was he in Harlan for? Legitimate question, I think. And so that's what this whole situation is about. Their fucking pedophile ring that they're still hiding. How are the fucking Epstein files going for you, everyone? Get everything you need to know out of those fucking Epstein files? They've been nothing but forthright, right? Certainly haven't hid anything, have they? I wonder why. But this situation for me is on a personal level. They just tried to fucking kill one of my dogs. They've murdered my friend Owen. Ralph and Wendy were involved with murdering my sister Cindy. Daniel Dowd and Corey Daniel and Alicia Ray were fucking instrumental in murdering Isaac Cappy. How many fucking people? I swear to God, for some of you, they could fuck a child right in front of you and you would be okay with it. You would tell yourself whatever the fuck it is you need to tell yourself to justify why it's okay that they're fucking a child. And people wonder why I get upset. I don't know. Fucking raping kids kind of irritates me. Maybe it's just me. But that's this live. That's this live. This has just been a nightmare. I think my dog will recover. Surprisingly enough, she slept through the whole night last night. It wasn't like the night before. But how much more shit can they do? Fuck, they could come on a live fucking thing and fucking torture me to death, and there would be people out there who would be like, oh, well, I don't believe it. I saw it on video, but I just don't believe it. Because you're an ignorant fucking asshole is why. You don't believe it because you don't want to believe it. Not because the facts aren't there. Not because it's unbelievable, but because you're an ignorant son of a bitch who doesn't give a fuck about children. Talk all you want. Actions speak a lot louder than words.
Who knows how YouTube allows this shit? Who knows? But it's funny that someone said stop feeding your dog peanut butter.
What the hell?
You know, pay the bill.
Oh, Christ. So anyway, before we look at his next video, so that was May the 7th, which the next video is also going to be from May the 7th. He was live more than once. And I caught all these after the fact because May 7th happened to have been Pavana's birthday, so the family was all together and we were doing our thing. So I caught all these after the fact. But I thought they were worth going over because this shit's just crazy. But before we look at his live stream, we're going to take a look at his blog, and we're going to take a look at what Thomas Schoenberger and them were pumping his head full of before he did the live stream. And yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. So you can see here, Thomas is twisting everything around to try to fit his own narratives. The very top, he says, Jesse was once caught with CP on his camera. No, that's not true. I talked about that story. I even showed the FBI documents that I had given the FBI a camera, and we purchased the camera for the FBI purposely to turn it over because we were trying to get a registered sex offender who was photographing teenage children reincarcerated. So we went over that story in great detail. And as I said, I also shared the FBI documents showing that we, in fact, turned the camera over to the FBI. So no, I didn't get caught with CP on my cameras. Ever. I don't have CP on my cameras. So, Thomas, you can twist it however you want to try to twist it. I'm supposedly so freaked out about being raided, and that's a red flag. He's now twisting the fact that in their cease and desist letters, I stated that Thomas and them have tried to swat us, and they've claimed that I am barricaded in my compound. I am have a lot of weapons. I hate the police. I'm abusing my wife, all this crazy shit for years now. And because I said that in the cease and desist letter, I said something about not being barricaded in my compound and heavily armed and, waiting for the police or whatever. He's now trying to twist that into me lying and saying I'm not armed. I've made it very clear to everybody from day one. I believe in my Second Amendment right 1,000%. And I've made it very clear that I own numerous weapons. But that doesn't mean you get to twist it around that I'm barricaded in a compound waiting to be swatted and I hate the police and that's why I'm heavily armed and yada yada. But this is what he's pumping into Schurter's head, period. And he goes on like it's some big deal. I got video of him holding a weapon with his gang members also holding weapons. Yeah, right. And then look, he's pumping it again. Police should definitely approach him as likely armed and dangerous. The guy lives in a compound, 6 cameras, weapons. Who the hell else knows what's in there? This is the shit he's pumping into Schurter's head. And again, the fact that I'm waving cash around. What kind of criminal network? Dude, it's not unusual for people to keep emergency cash on hand. This next one is an email from me to David Schurter because now that he got my cease and desist letter, he has my email. So lo and behold, I've been receiving emails from David Schurter And Johnny Dub, and they're carbon copying Neil Gross and Thomas Schoenberger and all the other weirdos. They're now emailing me all their dumb shit that they're emailing to each other, which is stupid. But this was my response to David Schroeder. Again, you can also see here Thomas talking. I didn't know that he took that many children in. I never took any foster children in, Thomas. That's been made very clear. This shit's gonna look really good for the judge, Thomas. And again, he sends to David Schroeder the videos from my I Spy YouTube page from years ago, where the police came to my house looking for someone else. They were never there looking for me, as you make it sound, Thomas, that you claim they've swatted me before and that I'm this horrible criminal. The police were never here looking for me, Thomas, ever. Yeah, he says, any evidence I provide will certainly be sent to law enforcement. If you treated your officials with more respect, they might not give you the cold shoulder, blah, blah, blah. And he claims everything he's sending Schroeder is 100% provable and so on and so forth. It's ridiculous. He's going to find out when he goes to court. He'll find out when it goes to court, because you see, Thomas, there's a difference. My lawsuit is legit. unlike your slap suit that you tried to drag my wife into just to try to get some kind of a monetary settlement from us. Yeah, your slap suit, your bogus lawsuit. Mine's going to be a little different, Thomas. Mine's going to be a little different. The evidence will definitely prove my case. Right. Some of this shit is just so retarded. Now you got to remember, everybody, you're looking at all these responses to Thomas from David Schurter, the same man who swears he doesn't open Thomas's emails anymore. And as you can see, Thomas again talking about Gabe Hoffman, claiming he's going to depose Gabe Hoffman, but Gabe's not a defendant. Gabe is going to be a witness, apparently, according to Thomas. You'll see this in some of Thomas's recent posts when we go over them. Yeah, he's trying to sway Gabe Hoffman to be a witness. So this was yet another email from Schurter to me. This is again another email that he sent to me. Dumb as shit. And then we will check out the video from May the 7th that he had at the bottom there.
Posted it on this morning, but Thomas has crawled back out of whatever hole he crawled into and now has started all over again. But this is more about, you realize just that I realize that this shit isn't legal, right?
Oh,
He
it's
sent
legal.
me a formal cease and desist. So let me just go through this. First of all, let me point out that law officials are watching me as closely as they are all of you. And so they know David Schurter and all known and unknown co-conspirators, associates, agents, and third parties acting in concert, which is just so hypocritical considering the fact that Jesse and Paula Davis own the Sewertown platform. So all the shit that they're talking and planning and doing all the shit is on their fucking Sewertown platform. They're the ones who run the fucking thing. They're the ones who pay for the shit. It's not free.
First off, David, the Sewertown platform is my channel, Jesse Davis's channel. Pavana has her own channel. And I have done nothing to you except bring up your stupidity and talk about it. I've done nothing to you. Even with your stupid emails, the numerous emails that you sent me after you did this video, I was very polite to you in my responses. I was very polite. I've never done a single thing to you. And yes, it is legal. You're going to find that out soon if you continue this stupidity.
So Barry Powers. Barry Powers is Thomas Schoenberger. Then they name.
No, Barry Powers is not Thomas Schoenberger. Barry Powers is Thomas Schoenberger's attorney from Michigan, from the Michigan State University lawsuit, David.
Thomas Andrew Schoenberger. Like, Thomas and I are friends. Go
Yeah.
read what I've said today.
Yes,
below.
you are.
Denise Mathau called her out years ago when I was involved with the SMART conference. Because she, I believe, is in league with Doug Mesner and has been for a long time.
Apparently, David, you and Denise Mathau and the rest are too stupid to understand that Thomas is using you like puppets. And by you reposting all his malicious, defaming shit about everybody makes you just as guilty and just as liable in the defamation of people. So therefore, you're being used, but you're still guilty because you're the guy putting this shit out and calling people pedophiles, child traffickers, child killers, yeah, and pedophiles, yeah. You're putting it out there, and you're being puppeted by Thomas.
Marcia Stockton. Daniel Columbus, which he says hoax. I don't know. Hoax Wars, I don't know. I'm not connected with any of them.
Yes,
And
you
law
are.
officials will know that, you know? And so he's putting us all on formal notice. But they don't know anything about me. I don't hang out with them. I don't have any associations with them. And law officials are well aware of it. I'm sure that law officials are following everything about me. I'm sure they've looked through my emails. I'm sure that they have connected to my phone. I am sure they are watching everything. And it's not like I don't just post the shit.
Well, if they're not looking at your conversations with Thomas Schoenberger and others, they will be.
I'm posting all of this online. So anybody who wants to read this shit, I'll be putting it on my blog right after I get done with this.
Post it up.
So everybody can read it. So
Post
let
it
me
up.
just read his factual basis. Since at least 2017 and continuing through the present, you have acted individually and in concert, I don't know who in concert with, to exchange a coordinated campaign of harassment, defamation, and intimidation. Oh, you mean like you guys planning on Sewer Town? That I didn't deserve Social Security, and so Social Security got a myriad amount of attempts at identity theft?
Well, David, you understand that anything you're saying, you are going to have to prove in a court of law is true. And Sewer Town has never plotted to do anything. I had nothing to do with anyone calling Social Security on you, nor did I have anything to do with those stupid flyers that you accuse me of, nor have I had anything to do with anything that anyone has done or said to you. I'm only in control of what I do or what I say, not anybody else, whether they are a guest in Sewer Town chats or on panel or they're not. I don't control those people.
Trying to fuck up my account like that? Is that the kind of shit like you're talking about? This stuff that's gone on? Joanne has been, my stepmother has been on your platform. You had Sharon Schlechter and all of them. Come on. Smokey the Clown. Come on.
Joanne has never, ever been on the Sewer Town panel, nor has she ever been in my chat that I'm aware of. Ever. I know nothing about your stepmother. I know nothing about her. Never spoke to her. Never tried to speak to her. You're wrong. It's a lie.
You know? Like that, right? Like that? Okay, let's keep going. Publishing, reading, repeating, or amplifying false statements of fact, accusing me and my family of serious criminal acts. You own a goddamn bunch of fucking weird-ass fetish sex stores.
I don't own any weird-ass fetish sex stores at all. Never have.
You're involved with Sewer Town. You're heavily involved with Isaac Cappy. Those are just facts.
I am Sewer Town. I'm not involved with Sewer Town. Sewer Town is my channel. And I was never involved with Isaac Cappy nor his death, ever. I didn't know anything about Isaac Cappy and his death until after the fact. Was never involved, never spoke to the guy.
Easily ascertainable. That's all I've ever said.
Well, let's see the proof that's so easily ascertainable.
Said, contacting or causing others to contact law enforcement, adult protective services, and other authorities with knowingly false allegations.
Right.
I haven't contacted anybody.
That's a lie, dude. You claim you've sent all this information about all of us to the police, dude. You've made that statement numerous times. So you're sending false reports to the police about me and my family. Period. Defaming shit. You're claiming I'm part of a neo-Nazi satanic pedophile child trafficking ring and all this shit. All false, all delusions in your head. and you claim you've sent this all to all these law enforcement and investigators. Yes, that's defamation. That's what that is called.
Nor have I ever asked anybody to contact. And to think that people have contacted, that people who know me, I'm not responsible for anyone on my blog, but I can tell you with a pretty certainty that no one has called. Nobody even knows where the fuck you guys are, dude. You know?
Nobody knows where I am. We've only been doxxed 1,000,000 times over. Thomas has doxed me to you. We've got the evidence of that. We've got the evidence of the emails where Thomas told you where I was. You know where I'm at, David. You certainly know where I'm at now, dumbass.
Nobody knows. Nobody really even cares. Okay, let's keep going. Making or encouraging statements intended to provoke an armed police response, swatting.
Correct.
Including false claims that I am barricaded, armed, and a threat to law enforcement. When have I ever said any of that? Are you? Because you're writing it down in here.
It's on your blog, retard. You're posting it publicly on your blog, which I will do everything I can to take that blog down too, Mr. Schurter. But you've posted all this shit on your blog. You got all this shit from Thomas. Everything you've made up and said about us, you got from Thomas and then added your own twists to it.
I don't even know who you are, where you live. So I'm not sure how you think I'm swatting you, even though I'm pretty sure you've tried to swat me, you and all of Sewertown. You're accusing me of the...
When have I ever tried to swat you, David? Prove that. Prove it.
The very shit that you guys are doing to me. The very shit. But, how would I know if you were barricaded, armed, or a threat to law enforcement? I think you're involved with fucking child trafficking. I think that your barely legal porn production thing, I think that you're doing illegal shit with it.
I don't have any ties to the barely legal porn production group or whatever the hell it is. That belonged to Mr. Flint from Hustler magazine. It never had anything to do with me, my wife, or Sewertown. Period. Never. Just another defaming fucking piece of shit that Thomas and them disseminated to you.
You're doing illegal shit like that. This modeling thing is not new. In Omaha, Alan Bear was using Nancy Bounds and her modeling agency to traffic kids. And that's how they were finding kids, and that's how they were identifying kids, was through Nancy Bounds, modeling company. But you have all kinds of shit that you're connected to.
Of course.
You know? Tagging, messaging, or otherwise directing communications to law enforcement and the public containing fabricated and dangerous allegations.
Yeah.
I do contact law enforcement all the time. They'll be getting this video.
But you just said that you don't give them false information. But yet you are now admitting it, right?
I'll be sending it video and I'll be posting it to my blog.
I'm sure you
Because
will.
I think that you're involved with the child trafficking bullshit. I think all of Sewertown is. I think you all are. I do. From my own personal experience. And the fact that you guys are all, you have Daniel Dowd, Geo Farnsworth, Tara Joyce, my stepmother, Sharon Schlechter, all that, all fucking openly conspiring against me on your Sewertown fucking chat
Of
thing.
course they are.
And yet you're
Prove
gonna
that.
piss and moan like a little bitch, you know? And I haven't done any of this. Okay, let's go on. Coordinating through social media, email, and other channels to harass, intimidate, and stalk me and my family. I don't even fucking know where you live. How do you stalk someone? And now, because of this, I have your email address. So when I send this to the cops, I'm going to include your email address.
Exactly. So now you're stalking me through email. You didn't just send me what you sent to police. You decided that it was in your best interest to talk mad crazy shit to me in emails now. You can't make this shit up. These guys are just ignorant.
Congratulations. Now I can send my my shit to you, Jesse. Okay, let's see. Acting in agreement or with substantial assistance from others giving rise to joint and several liability. I don't even know. These actions are false, malicious, and made with actual malice, reckless disregard for the truth.
Exactly.
They have foreseeably created a substantial risk of bodily harm.
Yeah.
Through the threat of law enforcement response. Well, you guys all coordinated passing out those fucking flyers, doxing me with my picture, falsely fucking calling me a pedophile.
I had nothing to do with any of that. Nothing to do with any of that. Prove that I did. That would be fun to watch.
Hoping someone would show up at my house and shoot me. So I don't even know where you are, but you obviously know where I live.
That's right. I know where all of you fucking live, because in order to serve you legal documents, I have to know where you live. So yes, I know where all of you live, including you, Daniel Richard Columbus. I know where you're at too, buddy.
You sent it right to my house.
Yes, I did.
Haven't done any of that. Those flyers, though, went around, and they were all from Sewer Town. Your group.
They were from Sewer Town, them flyers. Them there flyers.
Those are the things that he's sitting, and then the rest of it is just everyone else can read the stupid shit.
We already showed it to everybody before you got it.
You realize that this isn't legal. You realize that if you went legally, there's such a thing that they go and actually figure out the facts.
No, you need to understand that cease and desist letter is 100% legal and binding. And if you do not comply, then there will be legal action taken against you. It's pretty simple. That's the way it works. You know?
Of what's going on, you know? And so none of this, I'm going to take pictures of all of this. I'm going to put it on my blog.
Of course.
I'll block out your post office box. I'll even block out your email. But when I do this, I'm sending this shit to you, Jesse, because you need to know. So the whole shit with Thomas Schoenberger and Johnny Dubb, you all trying to set me up with Sarah Adams so that I could go after, so I could publish her shit about Tara Joyce so she could get a protection order out on me, that didn't work. So now Jesse Davis is going to try this, because all they want me to do is shut up about their neo-Nazi pedophile operation. That's a...
No, you can talk about any real neo-Nazi pedophile operation that you want to talk about, but you're not going to continue to include my family and my name in your stupidity, because we have no ties to any of that shit. And your days are done. We're not going to allow it to continue.
They want me to do. They want me to shut up about their neo-Nazi pedophile operation. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep calling them out.
No, you're going to do it. And guess what? As soon as the lawsuit is filed, I'm going to notify YouTube, and I'm going to notify the people who are putting your blog up there, you know, hosting your blog. And I'm going to let them know that I'm taking legal action against you for your defamation and your stalking. And I'm going to make sure they take all your shit down. That's the way it works.
And if this goes to court, I'll call them out in court. You know?
You're going to call me out in court.
Just,
oh, I want to see it.
This is too much. The fact that you idiots were able to get away with this for as long as you have, considering how fucking stupid you all are,
Get away with what?
is mind-baffling to me.
Get away
I just
with
don't
what?
get it. I just don't get it. But you can take your little cease and desist letter, Jesse, shove it straight up your ass.
Oh,
I hear you like that. I hear Corey Daniel likes that too. And Daniel Dowd likes it. You know, I'm a gay guy. Never did much care for it up the ass. You know,
We
that's just
don't
me.
care.
Wait,
That's too much
you
information.
take your
buddy.
fucking letter, your cease and desist letter, and shove it right up your pedophile ass. You guys are all in trouble. Tara Joyce, she's saying that she doesn't have child porn on her phone. I never said she had child porn on her phone. How the fuck would I know what's on her phone? I've never been in the same room with her, let alone had her phone in my hand. Wouldn't I have to have her phone in my hand to see if she had child porn on? And yet this became a big deal with them. But she is seeking the kids that Jesse and Paula Davis are using in their barely legal porn business. You can go look at their business licenses. You can see what they're involved with. It's pretty easy to find. It's not like it ain't public.
I'd like you to show my business licenses, Mr. Schurter. I'd like for you to show these business licenses that you claim are public that tie me to this barely legal group or whatever. Because the only licenses, David, that I personally hold are all contractor licenses, dude. All contractor licenses. I don't have any licenses in any of the porn industry, as you're saying. See, mine are all contractor licenses. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what they are. And there's that P.O. box that you were hiding, David. There you go. See, that's a recent. This is my new license because they've said for many years I'm an unlicensed contractor. But no, I am licensed. But that's the only licenses I hold, other than my driver's license, you know, and my gun permit. I guess that's considered a license to carry concealed. But I mean, I don't have any of these other licenses that you're claiming that I have. I wish you would provide some evidence of what you're saying, Ding-a-ling. Because you're going to have to provide the evidence in court to prove it's true. Otherwise, you're going to get hammered for defamation, buddy.
It isn't like they don't have fucking advertising, you know? I mean, really, the coloring book for fucking pedophiles is just so over the top.
Pavana's so-called pedophile pornographic coloring books again. Wow.
I just don't even know what to say. Babe, you can go fuck yourself, dude. And Thomas, you can say whatever the fuck you want, but you are the one who is running this fucking neo-Nazi pedophile operation. That's what I said in the emails over and over. That's what I say continuously. And all of these people are working together. Every single person. Let's see. Let's have that list again. Barry Powers, Thomas Andrew Schoenberger, Denise Mathau, Marcia Stockton, Daniel Columbus. All controlled opposition, all involved in the same fucking pedophile operation that was going on. Only Denise Matthew was involved with Neil Brick. And like I said, I think his name was Tom White. There was an investigator who was trying to investigate because Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, was sending in his little minions from his satanic temple, from what I understand, and they were recruiting women to be sex trafficked in their little group. And the dude ended up breaking his neck falling down a flight of stairs.
Uh-huh.
That's the official story for him. And Denise Mathau, they're all bad people. They're all bad guys. They're all bad, and they're all involved in the same group. They're each other's controlled opposition, you know.
Right.
They're each other's controlled opposition, but they are all just cogs in the wheel of this neo-Nazi pedophile operation. Flat the fuck out. But Jesse, I'll be sending this video and a little copy of your thing and my blog to law officials.
Of course,
so they know exactly where I stand.
Of course,
but I bet they're watching my phone. I bet they're watching my emails. They know I'm not in contact with anybody. They know damn well. I'm the smarter one who's involved, but I don't believe that this is Titus Frost. Captain Titus Frost. I think this is probably Geo playing a game. Captain Apu, you know? I've mentioned you, Titus Frost. You're like a right-hand man to Thomas Schoenberger. And Thomas Schoenberger is a piece of shit. He's the one who's instrumental in this. He was behind Sarah Adams. Because they really did want me. They thought, what part about I'm not interested? I don't give a fuck how big Sarah Adams' tits are. I'm not interested. You know? Not interested even in the least. Her tits do not bamboozle me. You know? It's the most bizarro thing ever. You know? It's just, as you read those emails, this group is just focused on sex. They're just focused, everything about this group is sex.
Right.
It's not hard to think that they're fucking kids. Everything about them is about sex. It's constant sex. That's what their focus is on.
Right.
Basically because they're involved with the neo-Nazi pedophile operation.
Uh-huh.
If you ask me. And all of Jesse and Paula Davis's fucking fetish bullshit. But have no doubt, Jesse, if I can ever get the cops to investigate you, I will celebrate the day they arrest you and your wife's stupid ass. I'll celebrate when they arrest all of you. Because you need to be stopped. The shit that you're doing is evil, and it needs to be stopped.
So evil.
And you can take your little cease and desist letter, shove it straight the fuck up your ass, along with your fist, and anything else you can cram up there.
Wow.
From what I understand, you guys have a lot of practice.
Wow. So there you have it. That was David Schroeder's first response to the cease and desist letter that I sent him. And, you know, we kind of figured he would be stupid. Hopefully he wakes up, because the clock is ticking until I file some legal actions against him. And before we listen to his other streams about this crap, let's just take a listen to Denise's reaction to the cease and desist letter. Angela, I sent you the link because StreamYard's being stupid and won't let me put the link in for StreamYard. But John, I'll send you the link as well if one of you guys wants to post the link, and then we'll pin it. But yeah, StreamYard's being stupid again, and for whatever reason, they're not letting me post the StreamYard link. But I'll shoot it over to you real quick, John, as well. Let's see. And I'll throw it at you as well, Phoenix. If somebody wants to post it, I'll then pin it. There we go. There we go. And Ange got it in there. Let's see. Pin message. There we go. So the link is in the chat, and it's pinned. So there you go. But anyway, yeah, before we listen to the other couple streams that David did ranting about this shit over and over again, let's just take a listen to Denise and her first reaction to this cease and desist letter. It's not much different than David Schroeder's.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thanks, Dan.
Oh yeah, Seward Town suing me and Barry Powers, Thomas Schonberger, David Schurter, Marcia Stockton, Daniel Columbus, also known as Hoax Wars, and ...
So Denise, the letter does not say I'm suing you. It's telling you to stop your stupidity or I will sue you. That's what it's telling you. It's giving you a chance. It's giving you one last opportunity to stop the defamation. That's all it is. But go ahead, Denise. ... means there could be others. That's what that means.
So, okay. Demand to cease defamation, harassment, false reporting, and threats. Notice of claims and litigation hold.
Right.
To all recipients, including ... How do you send something to ...
Well, it will be a lawsuit should they continue their stupidity.
Okay, whatever. It's I named this video Sewer Town Psychosis for a reason. And it's not defamation, it's a fact. This is a psychotic letter sent by psychotic people.
Of course.
To all recipients, you are hereby placed on formal notice that your conduct toward me and my family constitutes actionable civil wrongdoing and potential criminal violation. This letter serves as a final opportunity to cure before litigation is initiated.
Exactly.
Well, bring it, Jesse Davis, Pavana Davis, Paula Davis is her real name. Pavana is her YouTube name. Bring it. You just threw a list of people together just because we happen to be in the same platform of YouTube, and we've all engaged with you because you have defamed and attacked and tried to extort many people.
Prove that I've tried to extort anyone, Denise. Prove I've defamed anyone. Defamation is when you lie maliciously about somebody. And I can prove everything I've said about all of you is 100% true. And guess what? Truth is the best, and it's an absolute defense for defamation. But I want you to remember something, Denise, the same thing I told David Sugar and Thomas Schoenberger and the rest of you. When I file a suit because you don't abide by this and stop doing what you're doing, when I do file a suit for defamation, the burden of proof is upon you to prove that what you've said about me is true, and none of it is. So therefore, you will lose without a shadow of a doubt when I have to bring litigation against your stupid ass, Denise.
And I don't have to cease and desist what I've been doing, because what I've been doing is speaking the truth.
Okay, prove that.
Okay, factual basis. Since at least 2017 and continuing through the present, you have acted individually and in concert to engage in a coordinated campaign of harassment, defamation, and intimidation. In 2017, to those who don't know what this is about.
So just so you're aware, I sent the same cease and desist letter to each one of you for a reason, because you are all working in concert together, as I said, and you're all disseminating the same defaming bullshit that you all received via Thomas Schoenberger. But it doesn't make you any less guilty. And as I said, the burden of proof is going to be on you in a court of law to prove that I'm a criminal, I'm a child trafficker, I abuse my wife, all these things you people have said about me. I'm a child trafficker, I'm a fucking pedophile. All the things you've said, you have to prove in a court of law are true. And that can't happen because none of it's true, which is why they call it defamation, which is why I'm tired of it. And I am going to sue you if you do not stop and you don't take your shit down. Plain and simple.
In 2017, Jesse Davis was presenting himself as a law enforcement asset.
Never, ever, Denise, did I claim I was a law enforcement asset. You happened to see me one time when I came home and I jumped on a live stream panel and I still had my security stuff on, including my badge. And you're the one who made it out as though I was involved with law enforcement. I never portrayed that ever, Denise.
In Indiana. He was presenting himself as having some kind of claim against Thomas Schoenberger.
I do have a claim against Thomas.
I was not interested in, I didn't even at that time had only casual contact from Schoenberger, as I've had contact from actually, I would say, thousands of people, going back to 2016 and before that. I had YouTube channels going back to 2009. Okay, so over the years, I've had contact with thousands of people. Doesn't mean you're in concert with them. I did become friends with Thomas Schoenberger for a while, though, because
Of course
when
did.
I contacted Jesse Davis under the impression that he was, in fact, some kind of affiliate or asset of law enforcement, as he presented himself to be, I was curious because there was and still is, a criminal up there named Tammy Mathis.
That's right, Denise. That's right. Remember, you reached out to me in DMs thinking, for whatever reason, that I had something to do with law enforcement, and you wanted me to dig into Winter Moon. That's how you ended up connected with Jesse Davis. We showed all your DMs. We can take a look at those again at some point if you'd like to.
Who has presented herself, impersonated law enforcement, in attacking anyone who wants to look into the murder of Faith Jackson. That's Sojourner Jackson, my daughter, who was murdered in Massachusetts. Tammy Mathis is a friend of several people in Massachusetts.
Uh-huh.
My daughter's death was declared a suicide.
Because it was a suicide. As far as any evidence goes, it was declared a suicide because it was, in fact, a suicide. And I don't know why you keep trying to drag Winter Moon back into this. Winter Moon has not been around for years, at least not here in Sewertown. She's not been around in years. I don't know why you keep trying to drag her back into things, you and others for that matter.
By the University of Massachusetts after a completely unethical, unprofessional, to be kind to say anomalous, basically a total cover-up. They lied to the state police. I'm talking about the University of Massachusetts campus detective. Lied to the Massachusetts State Police in order to prevent a homicide investigation of my daughter's death.
Right.
That detective in Massachusetts, or the university above him, and probably it was the university above him.
So Liz, Telly's probably still lurking, but he'll come back whining because I timed him out for 5 minutes because he's just kind of spamming the chat with stupidity like he normally does. So I'm sure he'll come back whining that I'm suppressing his free speech. So, yeah, whatever.
Hi, Jesse. I just wanted to come up when you mentioned that Daniel Columbus is in the cease and desist.
Yes.
Well, if the cease and desist doesn't achieve the outcomes that you need, and it does go one step further, I'd just like to volunteer myself as a witness for you, Jesse, and for your wife, because I did witness all the harassment, targeted harassment, and most of it by Daniel Columbus over the course of the last 3 years. So if you need a witness, I'm quite happy to step up for that. And I'd just like to let you know that today.
Well, I appreciate that offer. And I mean, I'll be honest, I hope that all the evidence that I've spent so much time collecting against these idiots will be enough to take them down without having to worry about, looking for witnesses or any of that stuff. So we'll see when it comes to the litigation, because basically I told them they had 10 days. And at the end of those 10 days, if they choose to continue this shit, then I will in fact file in the courts, and we will commence the legal action. And like I said, personally, I think I have enough to nail them all hands down. And, I named the main characters, let's just say, that have been involved in it, were named specifically, and I sent each one of them a cease and desist. And
awesome.
The reason there was a ... is because there were other people involved. Some of those other people are kind of gone and no longer, participating. So I didn't feel that it was necessary to send it to some of them. But we'll just see how it all plays out. But, Denise was very upset about it. Thomas Schoenberger obviously is behind the scenes telling them that it's a joke. Don't worry about it. But that's what he told Zach Quaid before Gabe Hoffman filed a $1 million lawsuit against Zach Quaid.
Wow.
The shit Thomas had Zach doing. So, you would think, considering we've showed all that stuff in the past, that these people would know better, but they're, for whatever reason, they're still choosing to die on the Thomas Schoenberger Hill for some reason. I don't know why. So,
and Jesse, I think the 10 days is super generous of you. When I sent Adam Camacho's attorney last year a cease and desist, I gave 24 hours.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I wanted to give them time, because I told them I not only wanted them to stop what they're doing and stop defaming the people like they are, but I told them I wanted them to take down all the sick shit that they've posted about us. And so I figured it would take them a while, because they've been doing this for what? We're at like 8.5 years now.
Wow.
So there's a lot of stuff out there that they're going to have to try to take down. So, I mean, they can do the smart thing, or they can play dumb and they can find out, because
well,
we're beyond the fuck around stage. And I'm just
great year.
Yeah, I'm done,
Yeah, good on you, Jesse. I'm glad. I'm really glad.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. So I figured, since I've got about a total of 6 or 7 of their ridiculous live streams, and even some of Thomas's stupidity from his YouTube page recently to go through, I figured I better pop on and do a live tonight. Pavana had a long day. She already retired. So I figured I'd go on tonight and do a live stream. So, that way we're not going to fall too far behind, because they just keep coming. I mean, Schurter, it's crazy. Now the dude thinks it's a wise idea to email me stupid shit and threats. And I mean, it's just crazy. And, if he wants to continue, we'll show his emails, as well. I mean, it's just stupid. And Thomas's buddy, Brian Word, the guy that goes by Johnny Dub, who's also, fucking with Schurter, that dumbass is emailing me, and he'll probably use the excuse, well, I was just responding to David Schurter and you guys were all CC'd in it. Nah, you're smarter than that, dude. You're purposely making sure that shit comes to me. So it's stupid. So stupid.
Total harassment, Jesse. Chuck them all off. Good on you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're done. I told everybody 2026 was going to be a year of some change, and one way or another, we're going to get this shit handled. Like I said, once I commence the legal action, I will make sure that I send legal notice to YouTube and to whoever is hosting David Sugar's blog, and I will let them know that that shit needs to be taken down immediately. And then Sugar won't know what to do with himself because he will lose all of his online presence.
I look forward to that. Wow, that'd be awesome.
I think it'll be pretty easy to get it taken down once legal action commences, because some of the stuff he says shouldn't be allowed up there to begin with. I mean,
exactly.
So yeah, but anyway, let's continue listening to Denise and finish her up. And you're welcome to hang out on the panel if you want.
Thanks, Jesse.
And we'll just listen to the rest of what this crazy woman had to say, because it was hilarious.
Hired Tammy Mathis and her associates to harass me for beginning to speak up about the problems of students who were being found dead at UMass and declared accidental, illness-related, suicide, anything to prevent UMass from being looked at for being responsible for the safety of its students on campus. In 2015, some journalists in Boston started to look into it. Tammy Mathis was one of the people who threatened those journalists, especially the one who was concentrating on my daughter's death, although there were other deaths as well. Tammy Mathis concentrated on threatening his business. For the sole reason that he had presented an interview with me concerning the University of Massachusetts and my daughter.
I don't know what any of this has to do with her ceasing.
I noticed that Jesse Davis was pretending to be, well, I didn't know he was pretending. I thought he actually was what he claimed to be, an asset of law enforcement in Indiana.
Never claimed that.
And he was moving in some of the same circles.
Denise, I never claimed to be law enforcement. You saw this badge right here around my neck, and I had a shirt on that said security. I might have even had my hat on. I do security for a couple private investigation companies / security companies. This clearly says security enforcement officer. It does not indicate at all that I'm trying to represent myself as the police. It does not. And that's all you ever saw from me. Just because you thought I would investigate Tammy Mathis for you, Winter Moon, sorry I said your name, but she said it 50 times. Just because you thought that I might investigate her for you, and you reached out to me in DMs, and I blew you off, and you got pissed off, and that's when you started to attack me. And then you hooked up with Show Me the Burgers, and you've been relentless ever since. But never did I give anybody any implication that I was law enforcement.
It was Tammy Mathis. I saw the defamation and attacks he was making on Thomas Schoenberger. I didn't know whether they were true or not. I didn't care. I didn't even know Thomas Schoenberger at the time. I contacted Davis with a question. Did he know Tammy Mathis? His answer was non-committal. I said, I'm curious as to why she's able to get away with continuously impersonating law enforcement and doing what she's doing to me. That was my sole reason for having any contact with this criminal. Go ahead, sue me for saying you're a criminal, Jesse Davis. You are a criminal.
I'm not a criminal.
Because what he did next was very criminal. He and Pavana Davis began. He asked me, first of all, to join his hate campaign, his coordinated defamation, harassment, and bullying campaign against Thomas Schoenberger.
Denise, we've looked at every DM that you and I had, which was very few back in the day. We've looked at every one of them. Show some proof that I ever tried to supposedly recruit you to go after Thomas Schoenberger, because you're going to have to prove all this in a court of law. The burden of proof is on you. You're going to have to prove that everything you're saying is true. And it's not. It's all fabricated lies. I don't stalk Thomas. I don't defame Thomas. I respond to Thomas's stupidity just like I respond to your stupidity, like we are right now. And as far as defamation, never said anything defaming against anyone, because I make sure that I say nothing that's not 100% true and 1,000% provable to be true, unlike you idiots.
And I answered him honestly. I said, I have no interest in that. I don't care. I'm interested in what you can tell me about this Indiana person. She seems to have been in Indiana law enforcement, and you're in Indiana law enforcement. So let me know, what's the story up there? And his immediate response was to have, or, he and Pavana together began publishing soft porn revenge videos of me and Thomas Schoenberger, putting us together for the sole reason that I refused to sign on to a hate campaign.
Well, Telly, it's not really wasting the court's time. I mean, these people have defamed so many people and interfered with people's real lives. They need to be stopped. They refuse to stop on their own, so the only recourse now is to take their ass to court. But you see, mine's not a frivolous slap suit like Thomas Schoenberger's was. Mine's real, and these fucking people are going to learn to stop doing what they're doing.
Exactly what he accuses people here of doing, other people he attacked.
Blazin', I'll bring you up, but I want to finish out this Denise stream before we get into anything else.
Hold on 1 second while I make sure the battery's not going to go dead on me. Sorry, I didn't do this before. There we go. Okay. So anyway, this is a joke. This is ridiculous. And I dare you, bring it, sue me.
Oh, I'm going.
Do your absolute worst, Sewer King. Jesse Davis, Pavana Davis, poop fetish queen. And yes, woo, I can honestly say they're poop fetish. Woo, because they run websites of Pavana Davis dousing herself. And they've done videos of other people.
No, Denise. It never had anything to do with poop until you guys claimed that, because you found out that I worked in the septic and the sewer industry. And Telly, in your country, you may not care, but guess what? When they're posting stuff with my other local competitors and local people, telling people not to do business with my company because I fund child trafficking, when they start fucking with your livelihood, then something has to be done. That's where all this has went. When they start sending authorities knocking at your door and trying to swat you, that's when shit needs to be done. This isn't just YouTube shenanigans.
That's right.
It is, Telly. And if you really think that, then you're dumber than I thought you are. But I'm just being 100% real with you. If you truthfully think this is just YouTube shenanigans, and fun and games,
I agree with you, Telly.
Like hoax.
Hi, Blazin'. Hi, Blazin'.
I just really quick want to see. Did I say anything to be timed out twice so far? Just because this chick doesn't like me, do I get to get timed out in your chat by her? Yes or no?
Well, I don't know if you were timed out. I don't know who timed you out.
It's
I wasn't
Serene, and
paying.
she's not messing with me, and all because of the joke I said about hoax wars, and then she's like, I'm not messing with you. So then I told her to leave me be. I didn't even say anything, and she timed me out again. What the fuck? Should I do my restream and do my thing, or are you gonna tell her to let me live unless I fuck up? Like, she don't get to abuse me and be a bitch just because she don't like me. She's a fucking bitch.
So Telly could make the same claim because I timed Telly out because of stupid shit like this. I mean, it's just dumb.
I'm not saying anything like Telly's saying.
It interferes with people who are actually in here because they want to pay attention, but you know.
I didn't say anything bad at all. I didn't say anything, put you down in any way. I didn't say anything to be timed out.
Well,
You just don't like me, Jesse. Yes or no? Am I going to live in your chat without her bothering me, or no?
So Siren, as long as she's not doing anything totally crazy and ridiculous, let her go ahead and be in the chat.
I said I would testify for hoax. Jesse put it up on the screen, and then he put my LOL afterwards. You stupid.
Yeah, she said LOL. I mean, come on. I personally am not concerned with anyone who thinks that they would want to come in and testify on behalf of hoax or Thomas or any of them against me. I mean, it would be kind of foolish because the evidence is so overwhelming against what these people have been doing for a long, long time. And look, I have let it go.
Take away the fun off the internet. You know that? It's people like her. People can't even enjoy themselves anymore without the fucking bitches out here whining and complaining. It's over. I did nothing.
I've let the shit go on long enough, and I'm just at the point now that they brought Shirter's the most recent one that Thomas has, kind of recruited. And I'm just done with it, man. That guy is so gross.
Well, that's your thing. I can sit in your chat, though, and I'm not disrupting anything. Just, yeah, Serene, you heard Jesse. Unless I do something wrong, leave me the fuck be. You target me, and then you bitch about people targeting people. You're such a bitch.
All right, well, if you're going to hang out in the chat, it's cool to hang out in the chat. Siren, like I said, unless she is being totally silly and saying things totally ridiculous,
no, you shut the fuck up, Siren.
Just let it be. I mean, I'm letting Telly hang out. I did time him out for 5 minutes, and if he gets too silly, I'll time him out again. But let's just let it be. I want to try to get through all this stuff because, like I said,
what a hag, man. What a hag. She's so
these
I'm
guys.
going to go back and chat. Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, these guys just this week alone, since they got their cease and desist letters, have just been going ape shit. So let's continue on with Denise Mad Cow.
Harassment, hate videos. Putting their disgusting pornography all over those people.
Right.
I'll say everything he says is defamation. I'll say it again right now. He accuses me of defamation because I contacted Adult Protective Services, and he claims Thomas Schoenberger made me do that.
You lied. You filed a false report on behalf of Thomas Schoenberger. Denise, you said it yourself. We're going to see it later on when we go through Thomas's posts. We're going to see your video of your own ugly mug saying that Thomas Schoenberger persuaded you to call Adult Protective Services because he convinced you that I was supposedly abusing my wife. So we're going to listen to that stream that you did making that statement. So we know why you called, and yes, it was a false report, and you should be punished for that.
He's defamed me by saying I'm under Schoenberger's control or on his payroll or every other such thing.
You are under his control.
Schoenberger is a game player.
Yep, we know that.
His games with Sewertown got out of hand.
They weren't games.
I stepped in and asked some questions when I noticed the Indiana connection.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't playing any of these games, but I was a target because Thomas Schoenberger is playing games with people, just as Jesse Davis is playing games with the same people.
No, they're not games, Denise.
Some of them are actively criminal. Some of them are extorting. Some of them are just innocently playing games.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you could say being jackasses, but that's not a crime. The world is full of jackasses. It's run by jackasses.
And you're one of the biggest
Anyway.
jackasses.
Yeah, so he claims that that's some kind of thing. I'm not going to cease and desist from contacting any authority I have the right to contact. Now, Thomas Schoenberger did not tell me to contact Adult Protective Services.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did, Denise. You admitted it yourself. You said Thomas Schoenberger persuaded you. Remember? That's what you clearly said in one of your own videos. Let me see if I have it real quick. Maybe I can pull it up real quick. I mean, I know that it's in one of Thomas Schoenberger's it's in one of the things I'm going to play with Thomas Schoenberger's comments on his YouTube posts recently, but I'm just going to see if I have it just to play it now since you're talking about it right now. God, where is it? Well, I guess we're going to have to wait because I don't see it in this folder handy, but we're going to listen to you tell us about Thomas persuading you, Denise.
I had spoken with Schoenberger as a friend at that point about my intention to file a criminal complaint against Paula Davis for the fetish videos she was making and putting my face and Thomas Schoenberger's face in them. Thomas Schoenberger at that time was still in friendly contact with Pavana Davis.
No, when Pavana was making cartoons about you and Thomas, he was not in friendly contact with Pavana. As a matter of fact, Denise, Thomas has not been in friendly contact with Pavana since her breakdown. That's a fact.
He was concerned, his belief that he stated to me was his belief, was that she was not responsible for those videos, but that Jesse Davis, who was seen bullying her on screen all the time.
Ooh.
Oh, Denise, you got to prove that in court too. You better have those clips. You better have those clips because I don't recall ever bullying Pavana on stream, by the way. And I don't think anybody that's ever watched Sewertown will say that I've ever bullied Pavana on stream, by the way. Remember, Denise, you got to prove all this is true.
Very gently bullying, but obviously exerting control.
Oh, gently bullying.
He was going to say he wasn't, just as every abused child says that parents don't abuse them.
Uh-huh.
So Thomas persuaded me to de-escalate from a criminal complaint to asking Adult Protective Services to look into it because...
So there again, you say Thomas persuaded you and convinced you to call Adult Protective Services. You're claiming you were going to file a criminal complaint against Pavana for her cartoons. That's what your claim is. And Thomas begged you not to and told you, instead, Denise, call Adult Protective Services and lie to them and tell them that Jesse is abusing and controlling his wife and send him knocking at his door. That makes a lot of sense, Denise. But continue on.
And this is a fact beyond argument because Pavana Davis was under psychiatric care. Adult Protective Services cannot look into any actions against any adult who is not listed with them as being under their care.
Wrong answer. If anybody calls Adult Protective Services and launches a report or complaint to them that an adult, whether it be an elderly adult or someone who just reached adulthood, if anybody calls and files a complaint that someone is being abused in any way, shape, or form, they are in fact obligated to investigate that. Has nothing to do with them being under state care or anything like that, or under care of Adult Protective Services. Pavana has never, ever been under the care of Adult Protective Services or the state of Indiana or anyone for that matter. She's under her own care, has been under her own care, and the only person who had anything to do with her care was me. It was me. I made sure she got the care she needed, but nobody has ever had control over Pavana or her care. Let's just get that straight, Denise.
Under their jurisdiction. If I had called Adult Protective Services about Paula Davis and she was not under their care, they would have said, we don't, however bad it is, you have to call somebody else. It's not.
No, Denise, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. You're making shit up again. You're making shit up.
Us. We can't do anything about it. Call the police, get a lawyer, whatever. They wouldn't even have looked into it.
Right, Denise.
I called them and showed them the videos that Thomas had presented to me that were public, that Thomas had mentioned as saying, look, in these videos you can see she's not well.
So there she admits not only did Thomas persuade her to call Adult Protective Services, but Thomas provided her with supposedly some so-called videos that would prove to them that Pavana was being abused. That's what she's saying. Thomas not only persuaded her, but he provided her with the evidence that she provided to Adult Protective Services when she made the false report for Thomas. That's what you're saying, Denise. It's pretty clear. This is going to look really good in the court of law too, Denise, by the way. Just saying.
He's bragged about not allowing her to be seen by psychiatrists.
Oh, I bragged about not letting my wife be seen by psychiatrists. When did this happen? Where? When? Can you prove that? Because I've talked several times about how sick I was because it took 6 months to be able to get an appointment with a psychiatrist when she was in the midst of her breakdown. I bitched about it. It's sickening that it takes that long when somebody's in a state like that to get help. But when did I ever keep her from getting help, Denise? You're going to have to prove that too.
He tried to sue the clinic. He brought her to a psychiatric clinic and then staged a stunt. And I know this because...
First off, Denise, I did take her to a facility. And you should tell Thomas that I took her. The police didn't arrest her. The police didn't take her, as Thomas tries to claim. I drove her there. And nobody staged a stunt. And the reason I tried to sue the facility, Denise, let's get it right and out in the open, because they spoke to Thomas on the phone about my wife's private medical issue when in fact my wife had signed privacy documents telling them they could speak to no one except me. And when they spoke to Thomas, he posed as a doctor, Dr. Thomas Schoenberger, a neurologist from California. It's in the medical records. And he told them that she didn't need to be there. And he also told them that she had no history of psychosis. She wasn't a harm to herself. All these other things, as if he'd known her whole life, when in fact he only knew her about 60 to 90 days. And that's why I sued the facility. It had nothing to do with a stunt. It was violation of HIP laws.
Jesse Davis himself admitted that he did this. When he brought Pavana Davis to a psychiatric clinic trying to get her incarcerated, he asked her to call Thomas Schoenberger from the lobby of that clinic.
Of course I did.
And then he accused Thomas Schoenberger of having contact with the clinic when she called Schoenberger and handed the phone to the staff. And Davis said, "That's Dr. Schoenberger," and then accused Thomas Schoenberger of impersonating a doctor, which he had never done.
Did.
Thomas Schoenberger then had a conversation with the staff.
Uh-huh.
Gave his personal opinion that there was nothing really wrong with Pavana.
No. He gave a prognosis, a diagnosis, and he even recommended to them to give her Xanax, a narcotic drug that actually would have most likely caused more harm than good in her situation. But go ahead, Denise. You tell your so-called factual story.
She was under stress. She needed rest.
Uh-huh.
And what Thomas had said to me, and he might also have said to that staff, I don't know, was that in his opinion, she needed to be away from Jesse Davis. And I told Thomas, in my opinion, you're a single man messing with...
Yeah, so Thomas told Denise that Pavana needed to be away from me. Okay. All right.
The married woman, and you need to probably stay away from the whole situation. You know, you don't get to go around rescuing wives from abusive husbands, but hey, that's what he wants to try to do. That's not a crime either, by the way. Extramarital affairs, they're not crimes. They are breaches of contracts, perhaps, and you can get all moral about it. It's a moral issue of fidelity and all that, but it's not a legal criminal issue.
Well, it kind of is, Denise. It's a free country, but it kind of is, because if you're married, it's called adultery. And, you know, I mean, there are laws written about adultery, you know, so it is kind of illegal, Denise.
Jesse Davis pimps her out all the time.
Of course.
He openly brags that people, other men pleasure themselves over her photographs. He openly brags about selling intimate items of hers, intimate items of clothing.
Right, I openly brag
so that other men can pleasure themselves over them. He's pimping his wife. That's what that is. Now, I'm saying Sewardtown psychosis because a psychotic does evil things but doesn't know they're doing evil. And he's the same way. But that doesn't matter.
You can't make this shit up, guys.
Anyway, it's just full of stuff that, number one, I never did. Number two, I'm not going to stop speaking the truth, particularly since what he did with that criminal, his criminal colleague, his cohort, his comrade, Tammy Mathis, was he put her on his horrific hate channel hour after hour after hour, speaking about me and my family and making horrific, disgusting, intimate lies.
That's not true, Denise. Tammy came on panel sometimes, and she hasn't been around for at least a couple years. And yes, she did speak about your daughter's death. She gave her opinion of what she thought, because you kept saying your daughter was murdered, and all the evidence and things that have been put out there point to a clear and simple suicide. And so, yes, she stated her opinion. She called you out about your lies. But, yeah, that's as far as it went. And she wasn't on here all that often, and she hasn't been around for a long time.
I've never even been within 100 miles of that witch.
Exactly, Angela. Exactly.
She had ads out in websites. She's still got ads in the Before It's News website advertising her services
I'd like to see those ads.
To investigate people. She committed the crime of calling a Ohio courthouse and claiming she was the advocate of a woman named Rebecca Dean, who was getting a protection order against one of her colleagues, her comrades.
Oh my God, Denise.
And by doing that, she gained access to court records about the protection order that were not public record, because protection orders are not always public. It's up to the individuals involved, the parties, especially the plaintiff, to make them public. Rebecca Dean had not chosen to make the transcripts of those hearings public at that point. That's the kind of criminal that Jesse Davis works regularly with. He is part of a criminal organization.
Of course.
Whether or not I am friends with Thomas Schoenberger or anybody else is absolutely irrelevant.
You're correct, Denise. I don't care who you're friends with. I just don't want you spewing your disgusting, defaming hate at us like you've been doing for several years now. And the shit you're spewing about us is all garbage that was fed to you by Thomas. So I'm sorry, but 1 and 1 is 2. You work with Thomas. You spew this garbage for Thomas. That's a fact.
I dare you, Jesse Davis, to do whatever you want. Go ahead and try to file a civil lawsuit. Go ahead and try to file criminal complaints. Give it all you got.
I'm not going to try.
Because you got nothing.
I got nothing.
I am a free American. You bastards are members. Tammy Davis is the absolute solid proof that you are working in concert with the Massachusetts gang that murdered my daughter on that university campus.
Oh, jeez.
I'm working in concert with a Massachusetts gang that murdered her fucking daughter. Have fun proving that in court, Denise.
And is also involved in several other deaths as well.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Her fiance murdered in a nearby town
Uh-huh.
Wow.
a few weeks before they killed her.
Wow. I'm up here with
A state police captain.
I'm
Murdered.
Up here with suspected murder. I'm scared, Jesse.
This shit, like I
I'm
said,
scared.
I have put up with this shit for longer than I should have.
I think so.
I'm just at a point, I'm done, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They
It's
now
time.
they have option A and they have option B. Just like Schoenberger, 8.5 years ago, I gave Schoenberger option A and option B. He was dumb and picked option B, and now he's going to find out. You guys now have the opportunity. Option A would be to follow that cease and desist and comply with it and stop talking mad, defaming shit about us. Or option B is you continue, and I'm going to sue the fuck out of you. That's the way it's going to be, because we're done with this shit. We're done with it.
It's time.
Yeah. And Denise, I will do the same thing to you as soon as I file the legal paperwork with the court. I will notify YouTube that I am suing you, and I will let YouTube know that if the defaming shit isn't removed, I will also hold them liable for being complicit and allowing you to fucking do this for years, because we have filed complaints against your channel and YouTube leaves your shit up, but yet they removed 2 of my channels for defending myself against you crazy asses. So YouTube is, in my opinion, just as liable as anybody else at this point. But keep fucking around, Denise, and you're going to find out.
A few years earlier, because he was investigating that gang and why it was interested in harassing my family. That gang was interested in harassing my family because my nephew, the now deceased Joseph Burke III,
Had nothing to do with your family.
was one of 7 young men charged in a double homicide that was, in fact, a mob hit.
Yeah, right, Shizzle. I'm a snitch because I should just allow these fucking idiots to continue painting targets on our back and trying to ruin my business and all that shit. I should just let it go, right? Right? Yeah.
Way back in 1981. The Lennox 7. The drowning of Barry Griffin Jr., son of a...
What the fuck does this have to do with Sewer Town, Denise? I didn't know anything about any of that or these people or your family. I didn't know about you either till you started coming at us sideways like a crazy lady. What the fuck does this got to do with anything?
GE Union steward and his companion, Richard Retzel, son of a racetrack worker who worked at the Litchfield racetrack down in Connecticut.
Telly, when I inherit a cockroach farm, I'll send it your way.
That was a world famous case when it happened. It was written up in the New York Times, the London Times, the Guardian, all those papers. They all wrote it up because it was a mob hit, but nobody was saying it was a mob hit. Everyone was saying it was a teenage brawl.
What the fuck does this got to do with anything?
Random act of violence.
It's always got to tie back into her daughter and her family. I don't get it.
Years later, when I started to speak up about what my family was involved in, because they were doing things to innocent members of the family. My nephew himself was partly innocent. He was recruited to drive the getaway vehicle, having no clue that those men were going to go down the boat ramp and kill 2 people. Once it was done, it was done. But my sister engaged in $250,000 worth of bribery.
Of course she did.
In entangling the family with not just protecting her son, but all the other 6, which included a member of the Bianco family.
Denise, is that the same as the Indiana Bianco family? Because we had a young lady named Lisa Bianco, and her husband used to beat the shit out of her. She was my neighbor, Denise. She was my neighbor. I was a kid at the time, and her husband used to beat the shit out of her. And one night when we came back from the outdoor drive-in and we pulled in the alley to get to the driveway, he was knocking her around next door in their driveway, and my father got out and beat the shit out of her husband. And he later ended up getting out of prison on some kind of a furlough for the weekend, and he came here to our town and he fucking killed her. Is it the same Bianco family, Denise? The same Biancos that you're talking about? I'm just asking.
Patriarchal crime family. Go look it up in the FBI mafia histories about the New England mafia.
Yeah, just go look it up.
The patriarchal crime family, Bianco, Jerry Angela.
Look up the Capolettis and the Catanzarites, Denise. Look them up. I'm friends with both of those families.
Laro brings us right round to Sewer Town. Sewer Town regular Clovis. Sewer Town regular Angela Davis.
What the fuck is she throwing? Clovis hasn't been around forever either. And then she says Angela Davis. I think she's going to correct it to Angela G.
Angela Davis. Forget Angela G. Angela G. Excuse me. Showing my age.
What do to you, Denise?
Angela G. is another one of these organized sex trafficking, extortion ring, blackmail ring, pedophile protecting, organized criminal activities, all of which characterize what Jesse Davis and Pavana Davis have been doing to me and to others.
Of course.
So you go right ahead. Bring it. Bring all you got.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Jesse Davis, because you've got nothing. God bless some, have mercy on some, and to hell with the rest. Denise Matteau, over and out.
So that was her first video in reaction to the cease and desist, and we saw Schurter's first video, and now we're going to take a quick look at some of Thomas's recent YouTube posts and the crazy that this guy has going on. I mean, as I said, you can't make this shit up.
Schoenberger 45 minutes ago. Jesse Davis claims he has no weapons, yet fears being swatted and claims he has no weapons. He waves large amounts of cash and lives in a compound with weapons cache and likely porn material. Jesse Davis sent a letter claiming he was scared of being swatted and was unarmed. If he is lying about this basic fact, what else is he lying about?
Well, first off, Thomas, I've never claimed that I'm unarmed. I've never claimed that I don't own weapons. That would be stupid of me because I've showed my weapons on streams in the past. So I've never claimed that I'm unarmed or don't have weapons. I simply stated that for you guys to claim I'm heavily armed and waiting for SWAT to show up and that I hate police is bullshit. It's your stupid attempt to try to get me swatted and killed, obviously.
His co-host Corey Daniel praises Adolf Hitler. His other co-host, Daniel Ryan Dowd, was indicted by a grand jury on aggravated sexual assault on a child. Jesse Davis fears being raided because police have swatted Jesse in the past.
Thomas, again, you have to prove all this shit to be true, and I've never, ever been swatted, ever. The police have been to my home more than once, surrounded the home, just police, not SWAT. Just police showed up, 4 or 5 of them, whatever, looking for someone else. They were never looking for me, ever. They were looking for other people. People that didn't even live here, actually. But I've never been swatted. You've tried to get that done. I have evidence that you've tried to get me swatted, but it's never happened. And you stole the video that you are supposedly using as your sauce, your evidence. You stole that from my I Spy page where I was talking about city corruption and corruption within the police department. Wow.
Now he has to deal with the fallout from filing an FBI report, claiming I called Adult Protective Services on him. That is a lie.
Okay, I didn't claim that you called Adult Protective Services. I clearly stated Denise called them, but she called them on your behalf. You prompted her to do so. And I did tell the FBI that I was unsure if you also participated by making a call. I don't know how many of you idiots called. I just know for sure that Denise called because you persuaded her to call. We're gonna listen to that here in a bit.
So let's look at the whole group. Tier Joyce, a frequent guest on Sewer Town, is a former porn actress and porn scriptwriter for barely legal porn films distributed by Hustler Media. I have posted her career as a porn scriptwriter in her 40s, 2009 to 2010, with girls barely 18 years old. I think it's unsafe for Teresa Joyce Randolph to even be around teenagers. Now the facts about the other creeps. I have included links and screenshots so everyone is clear. The facts are, Daniel Dowd is a co-host of Jesse and Paula Davis's Sewer Town.
Again, I've made it very clear. I'm Sewer Town. Paula's not technically Sewer Town. She has her own YouTube channel. I am Sewer Town, although occasionally she might speak or type in the chat. I am Sewertown. It's my channel. I have no co-hosts, unlike your weird friends, Hoax Wars and stuff, that had people they literally called their co-hosts. Yeah, I have no co-hosts.
Dowd threatened to attack Blazin, literally assault her. Sickening and wrong, Dowd has been seen making his very young daughter, who appears to be around 4 or 5 years old.
Dowd has been seen making his very young daughter what? Making his daughter what? You didn't finish that, Thomas. Too many Ambiens?
Denise M. contacted Adult Protective Service on Jesse and Paula. Not me.
Picking up where I left off, because the live stream over there in
Here we go.
Town is still rolling, and Jesse Davis is, lately he's been obsessed and very, very frightened.
Oh, I'm frightened.
About something that happened a few years ago.
Of course I'm frightened.
And Thomas's persuasion of me to call Adult Protective Services was very, very frightened.
Thomas's persuasion.
About something that happened a few years ago.
Very clear about that.
And Thomas's persuasion of me to call Adult Protective Services was due to his belief, as he stated it, that Pavana was under the thumb of an abusive husband.
Okay, so Thomas persuaded you to call Adult Protective Services under his belief that I was abusing Pavana, and you felt the need to take it upon yourself to call Adult Protective Services and file a false report. That's what it boiled down to, Denise.
So what I said to Thomas I would do, out of respect for his opinion,
what you
and
would
I
do,
gave it about a 10%.
What she said she would do for Thomas.
Possibility of being right. I was 90% sure I was right. I said, okay, I will talk to Adult Protectives.
I was blamed by Jesse and Paula Davis on Airsothesis idiots fear being swatted because I assumed someone tipped them off that we went to law enforcement.
So I'm supposedly scared because Thomas supposedly went to law enforcement, and he's going to have law enforcement come get me again. He's been saying that for 8.5 years, and I've yet to ever have any law enforcement officer or investigator that they claim they all have all these investigations. I've never been approached by a single person about any of this shit that Thomas claims is given to law enforcement.
Yes, we did. We also notified Judge Heiss's court that there was a clear violation of her court rules and witness intimidation. Multiple witnesses, not just Marcia.
Yeah, so he wrote a letter, which I showed on here. He wrote a letter to the judge who was very angry with him and his lawyer. The same judge that said his lawsuit was a vexatious lawsuit. And she, again, upheld the dismissal of Pavana and Lisa Derrick from being dragged into his ridiculous lawsuit. She upheld their dismissal, and she threw his entire case out of her court, out of the Wayne County court system. But Thomas sent her a ridiculous letter and was butthurt because I snapped a photo of Thomas while I was on the court call. I've never denied that. Your big ugly mug, your fucking Humpty Dumpty looking egghead showed up full screen in front of me. Did you expect me not to snap a picture of that with my telephone, Thomas? Is that what you're saying? And what, are they going to throw me in prison for the rest of my life because I took a picture of your ugly mug? I have to know what you look like, because I have to make sure if I happen to see you creeping around somewhere, because you haven't made threats. If I see you creeping around, or, my children or anybody sees you creeping around, we got to be able to know what you look like so we can take care of that problem if it ever arises. Not that I think you are man enough to ever actually face me, but I do need to know what you look like in your current state, not what you look like according to your pictures you put on the internet, trying to make people think you're some young, handsome, debonair, fit individual.
Corey Michael Daniel of Oracle, Arizona, the cheerleader of Hitler, was also reported. You have to wonder why multiple and now incarcerated pedophiles were in the same room called Silent War Room with Esteban Trujillo de Gutierrez.
What the hell does Esteban got to do with any of this?
See below. That room was initially set up by William Guy Amick, aka E the Friend, who was arrested on felony infant porn charges and faces a judge later on this month.
Okay, and that has zero to do with me. I don't know who that is, don't care. And he shared a link.
Jesse has connections to pedophile Daniel Ryan Dowd, pedophile Dustin Reddy, and...
No, I do not have any ties to Dustin Reddy. You're the guy who was buddies, apparently, with Dustin Reddy even long ago during the cicada times. That's your buddy. Dustin Reddy is your buddy.
Jesse Davis has admitted having C.P on a camera he owned. I would not be surprised.
Nope, never.
If he was hiding CP in his home, hence the cameras. After all, his brother-in-law, who installed the 6-cam surveillance system at his home, is serving a 47-year sentence in jail for pedophilia.
Well, first off, Thomas, you have no clue who installed my camera system. And second of all, Thomas, I have 11 cameras on that system. And I also have a few additional cameras. Not that it really matters. I showed why I have cameras because, you know, you can catch people when they hit your vehicle and take off, or they rob the house next door, or, you know, they kick the door in and fire shots at the house next door. We've showed those clips. There's a reason I have my cameras, and it has nothing to do with pedophilia or hiding from police or anybody else. But you continue to twist your own narratives, Thomas.
Esteban connects to convicted pedophile Dustin Reddy, aka Ghost 3301, and I am not stopping until justice is served. Nothing I post is fake or delusional, just pure, cold, and prosecutable facts.
Okay, well, remember that, Thomas. You got to bring those pure, cold, prosecutable facts to court to convince the court that it's true.
Sauce.
Bring your sauce. This is all his facts, guys. This is Thomas's special sauce.
At Sophia Music. 25 minutes ago, I prepare, document easy evil people's every move, and plan well ahead. At Marcia Stockton. 20 minutes ago, Corey Daniel is that guy, the Phoenix Enigma in your first screenshot, the fellow who wants world to think Hitler was correct. Guess he's not a fan of Holocaust Remembrance Day. Interesting set of receipts. At Sophia Music. 5 minutes ago. Thank you. Yes, it seems like Jesse Davis has skeletons. Writing extortion letters was dumb after filing a false FBI report.
Well, first off, Thomas, I didn't file any false FBI reports. And second of all, Thomas, I do have some skeletons. They're out in a tote in the garage. They're Halloween decorations. And I have one that is literally on the antenna of my truck that's, been riding on the antenna for a lot of years now. But yeah, there was no false FBI reports, Thomas. The FBI is fully aware of who you are, and they had files on you before I ever spoke to them.
5 hours ago. I do plan to depose Gabe, but simply for information. Gabe was led to believe that I psychologically tortured Isaac Cappy. He was fed this lie from Manuel Chavez and maybe Corey Daniel, the goat-faced cheerleader of Hitler. Corey, a close associate of Tier Joyce.
So here's where he's now going to try to claim and use Gabe Hoffman as a pawn, claiming that Gabe Hoffman's going to be deposed as a witness for Thomas. Okay, Thomas.
Obviously, I did not ever have an argument with Cappy, and there is no way I was his handler, so the tweet Gabe made years ago is provably false. I hope, in a show of good faith, Gabe deletes this. I don't think Gabe believes I psychologically tortured Isaac. I think Gabe notices that Manuel Chavez and Corey Daniel are rabid anti-Semites who praise Hitler and wish for the annihilation of Israel. Obviously, Gabe had conflict with Isaac. But Louder Than Love, aka Alessandro, threatening to hunt down Gabe and stab him was wrong. Yes, Schurter is an ally of Alessandro. I also warned Schurter about trying to stir up drama with Gabe. Yes, he will be deposed, but as a witness, not a defendant. I forgave Gabe long ago.
Right. Yeah, so he's trying to woo Gabe and use Gabe as a pawn in his ridiculous lawsuit, like he did so many others.
'82 AATW. 4 hours ago. I would love to hear your opinions on Tracy Twyman's demise and pursuant copyright lockdown by Harith. At Sophia Music. 3 hours ago. I never met Tracy, but I refer you to Berners, me, a good and credible researcher. Cheers.
Yeah, he's going to refer him to Steve Scrotum and claim that he's a good, creditable researcher. Right, Thomas.
At Joshua 82 AATW. 4 hours ago. Opposition to Israel's existence, one built on and maintained by settler colonial practices, is a matter of anti-racist, human rights, and decolonial political philosophy rather than prejudice against a religious or ethnic group. Conflating opposition to the political existence of an ethnostate with racism is a byproduct of constantly complaining that it is. It's a false dichotomy implied by the very question. The younger generations aren't buying it. At Sophia Music. 3 hours ago. And I do not disagree with you, Joshua. Good thing is Americans and the world are on to Netanyahu, Ben Giver, and the other Likud monsters pushing this war, and that included the neocons Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz, etc. At Sophia Music. 4 hours ago. I'm totally against Netanyahu and his regime, but I don't believe in the annihilation of Israel. Bibi's bloodlust is a like-centric phenomenon. I find it shameful to be an American and to see my country give piles of money to a monster called Netanyahu, but I know lots of good Jews. I look at what happened in Gaza and I was taught that genocide was wrong. Netanyahu is the Hitler of the modern era. But you can't judge all white people by what Ted Bundy did. At Joshua 82 AATW. 3 hours ago. Edited. At Sophia Music. Israel is a democracy. Multiple elections and polls, even mid-war, show majority Jewish Israeli support for the IDF campaign in Gaza. Conscription means broad societal participation. Voters keep enabling hardline coalitions. This doesn't mean every Israeli is evil or cheering civilian death. But in a
Right. According to David Schurter, so is Barry Powers, right?
democracy, the public aren't innocent spectators. They sustain the policy via votes, polls, service, and consensus, like Americans during Iraq or Germans early in World War II, not unanimous but collectively responsible.
Right.
Not all of us support the war in Iran.
You're right, John. Right. They make alts of certain channels and they share login info so that they can talk on the same channels as well.
But we are unfortunately collectively responsible. We elected leaders who are owned by Israel by blackmail, bribe, or most likely a combination. Jesus is the true Israel, the fulfillment of all God's promises to Abraham, Gal 3:16, 29, 2 Cor 1:20. He is the vine, John 15, the temple, the land, the king. The church, Jew and Gentile united in him, is the Israel of God, Gal 6:16. By rejecting Jesus as Messiah and God, modern Israel as a Jewish ethnostate embodies the ongoing denial of Christ's claims and completed work. Supporting its existence as a divine right or prophetic fulfillment implies the Old Covenant promises, land, nation, remain unfulfilled apart from Christ, undermining that he fully accomplished what Israel pointed to. It treats ethnic/political Israel as still central in God's plan, which denies that Christ is the exclusive heir and that the old shadows are obsolete now that the reality has come. Hebrews 8-10. True continuity is in faith in the divine Christ, not 1948 politics. Tears' lies are catching up with her. She knew Michael W., aka Vegan Mikey, and obviously is freaking out because she is busted in more lies. Corey Daniel filed a false FBI report, as did Jesse and Paula Davis. I went to law enforcement and alerted the court. Tier Joyce is a fraud. She is a liar and manipulator, and now she is trying to stifle Titus from interviewing Sarah. Just like she threatened to sue Coley Webster. Titus and Coley are journalists. Titus produced a documentary and Coley has a radio show, and they have a right to interview people. Yet, somehow, in Teresa Joyce Randolph's twisted reality, I am at fault. Give me a break, Teresa Joyce Randolph. You wrote scripts for Barely Legal. You even acted in them. Proof.
Here's his proof.
So take your phony lawsuit bullshit and walk away. Nobody believes you, Teresa Joyce Randolph. And threatening to sue at SNX Radio is an attempt to suppress free speech. I like Coley. I like Sarah and Brian too. Unlike you, Tier Joyce, they are kind, honest, and stay clear of pornography and whatever else you have done in the past. Titus can also interview whoever he wants, and Sarah has gone to more than a few influencers. Good luck blaming me, Tier, you disgusting hag. You are a public figure. An aggravated sexual assault on...
So he is claiming that Titus is an influencer. Damn it, I hit the button and moved it back. I gotta find my spot, but he's claiming Titus is an influencer. Who the fuck is he influencing? Who's he influencing? He gets a half a dozen people viewing his garbage. I mean, really.
Titus can also interview whoever he wants, and Sarah has gone to more than a few influencers. Good luck blaming me, Tier, you disgusting hag. You are a public figure. You cyberstalk people. Like you are doing to me, Brian Sang, Titus, Sarah, Hoax Blazin, and more. You can take your old disgusting failed porn career and failed comedian career and contemplate why you are so disliked. You can ponder why you are best friends with pedophile Daniel Ryan Dowd. I was not there when Titus interviewed Sarah and Brian, but I will definitely watch the interview this evening. Finally, you are not funny, Tier. Nobody enjoys your company with the exception of pedophile Daniel Ryan Dowd and John Tamaris, who has been reported to his government.
Okay, John, you've been reported to your government. And this is his sauce, guys. This is his sauce.
The music. 2 hours ago, edited.
Edited.
Oh, Tier claims she did not know Cappy. Lies. Tier was also wishing Vegan Mikey, Cappy's best friend, happy birthday. I think Tier is a public figure and a con artist. Come on, Tier, sue me. You filthy lying piece of shit.
So those were some of his first posts recently in the last week. And then we got one more set to go through.
Thomas Schoenberger 41 minutes ago. Shit's getting real. Thomas Schoenberger 2 hours ago. I feel objectified. Spelling my name wrong? This journalist thought she was being clever. Scone burger? Thomas's English muffins? Same trick Tier Joyce's partner Daniel Ryan Dowd uses. I never say Tara Joyce, ex-porn actress. I always say Tier Joyce or Teresa Joyce Randolph, ex-porn actress and porn script writer, cyberbully and Karen extraordinaire. I am accurate in most things, not all, since at the end of the day, I am resigned to mere muffinhood. In the meantime, I ran across this blog that details Sewertown co-host Daniel Ryan Dowd. Sewertown has some seriously dangerous criminals and is acting as a criminal organization, even filing false FBI reports.
Right, exactly. False FBI reports. The other thing that was kind of weird is I saw this post from Thomas where he put this Substack up about Daniel Dowd, and then I have had other people contact me and share the same Substack, which is kind of sus and weird, to say the least.
Dowd,
I believe the Substack could possibly be Thomas as well.
And Jesse Davis are armed. Jesse lies and says he has no firearms, according to his A.I. written threat letter.
It wasn't a threat letter, and I never said in there that I don't have any weapons. I never said that. But here's more sauce.
Schoenberger 2 hours ago. Marsha's next video adventure will explore the dangers of cyberbullies and how a rabbit and a cat address a very real-world issue. There's a fine balance between free speech and cyberbullying dressed up like journalism. Suicide trolling put everybody at risk. Marsha and Wes have created a fantastic merging of fantasy and science fiction.
Okay.
Thomas Schoenberger 16 hours ago. There are real red dragons out there. People so evil, they need to be incarcerated. I am personally of the view that pedophiles should be taken out in the ocean and drowned, but then there's this little red dragon. A melody by Marsha Stockton, and it attracts the good-hearted and burns the rats.
Marsha Stockton is just another dumb cunt that is going to die on your hill, Thomas. That's all. That's all Marsha is. Marsha is a fucking nobody. just like the rest of these idiots that you fucking hang with, Thomas. Yes, just like the rest of the idiots you hang with. So then let's see here. Then we move on to fucking May the 8th. And old Schurter did a couple more streams on the 8th. One of them, Siren, I want you to stay calm and don't get excited. All right? Don't get excited over this next one.
The fun thing about Donald Trump and what I've done to just, not him, but the whole group that they're all involved with, is not that you can watch him rot from the inside out. That's not the fun part. The fun part is watching the night terrors consume him in the middle of the night, which explains all of the Truth Social postings. And
dude, he looks like he's in the middle of a night terror right now.
that is true, not just for him, but every member of his family. Their family, my family, and other families owe a blood debt to the dark. And the dark is calling us all home so we can pay that debt. Mike Aquino, pretty much figuring you're still alive. Maybe.
My question is, are you going to have to set up a GoFundMe to pay that debt, David? Just asking.
Not, because Thomas Schoenberger is just exasperating to deal with. Bait, same thing for you. I bet you're not sleeping at night. I know my stepmother isn't sleeping at night. I told you all how you can save yourselves, and in the end, you won't do it. And as such, you won't be saved. And it goes on a huge level, a macro level. Micro as far as I'm concerned, but it extends out. So have fun with that. Like I told you, Aquino, Frankenstein always loses control of the monster, and the monster always returns to fuck him and his people's shit up. You taught the wrong person your shit. You certainly pledged your souls to the wrong person. And you can convince whatever you can convince that moron of. It doesn't negate all of those rituals, all of those murdered little boys. They all matter. And so do you. Having fun yet?
I want to know, by a raising of hands in the chat, how many of you guys pledged your soul to David Schroeder? I want to know how many of you pledged your soul to David Schroeder, because he basically acts like everybody did. Huh. And then we have, let's see, on 5/8 of 26, which was a couple of days ago, we have Denise. This one's titled Explaining David Schroeder. Denise is going to explain David Schroeder to all of us.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Well, hello, whoever, wherever, whenever you are, whatever you're doing, however you got here, welcome. Thank you for showing up, and I hope you stay a while. This probably isn't going to be very long anyway. Yeah, so I put up a stream yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I'm not keeping track of time, is containing my answer to a ridiculous attempt at legal intimidation being put up by a sex trafficking extortion ring that has me on its list of people it hates because I've spoken up about their involvement in crimes, such as the crime against my daughter. The fact that
she has spoken up about our involvement in the crimes against her daughter. I had no involvement, Denise. I didn't know you or your daughter at the time. Wish I still didn't know you, Denise, to be honest. But go ahead.
Some members of my family have actually been involved with sex trafficking. It's why I consider my family to be, like, frankly, I really believe.
So now her family has been involved in sex trafficking, she said. What the fuck, Denise?
Parts of my family are like the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell Mormon cult, except that we're Catholic. Fuck? And I have a sister who was definitely involved in child trafficking to corporate parties because she handled international travel for the corporate executives. And anyway, I've told that story several times. I'll tell it again if people need to hear it again, because those videos do tend to get taken down. But I just come back and retell the story. But anyway.
Who takes those videos down, Denise?
David Schroeder. Okay. Why am I talking about him?
Here we go.
Because he's mentioned in this legal, it's a pseudo-legal, it's a fake legal letter.
No, it's
sent
not.
By a couple of couple of idiots up in Indiana, and they are sending the same letter to David Schroeder claiming that we are somehow connected.
You are.
And David,
You're connected through Thomas Schoenberger, Denise. Both of you are disseminating Thomas Schoenberger's defamation campaign against not only us, but several other people. So that's how you're all tied together.
Schroeder, bless his heart, and I say that in the full Southern sense,
Bless his heart. The hell with him.
He's talked himself about the fact that he's schizophrenic. Okay. And it's pretty obvious from the way he behaves that he's a paranoid schizophrenic, because he did write a book about what he says is his horrific childhood in a family that involved satanic sex practices. And his stepfather and other members of his family were actually arrested in connection with the Franklin Credit Union scandal. Oh gosh, at least, I don't know, 20 years ago?
Yeah, you're right, Telly. Crazy lady on the beach diagnosing crazy Schroeder. And I have to question, I've not seen any evidence that David Schroeder's family members were arrested for the Franklin Credit Union child trafficking crap. I've never seen evidence of that. Where is she coming up with that at?
Maybe even more. That's where, in Omaha, Nebraska, a group of business executives were found to be trafficking children from the Catholic orphanage known as Boys Town. And of course, it intersects with the Catholic scandals, as does my family.
John.
Because my sister, Renee Burke, who is, I consider to be exactly the same as Lori Daybell, with the one exception that Lori Daybell of the Vallow Daybell, that Mormon cult where they were calling members of their families zombies so they could kill them after taking out high insurance policies on them. And they're both Glory and Chad are in prison now for, I guess.
So now we went from child trafficking to zombie trafficking.
For life without parole. But anyway, yeah, my sister is very, very similar in her thing. But the thing is, David Schroeder connects back to Massachusetts. And he confuses me. He's made a video insisting that I am part of the Satanic Temple Lucian Griefs. This is part of his illness. And I'm going to explain David Schroeder's illness to you, okay? Whatever happened in his childhood, however true or exaggerated his book is, I don't know.
So I found it interesting that she also said David Schroeder admitted that he was a paranoid schizophrenic, because I've never heard him say that. I've heard him say he has complex PTSD. I've never heard him claim that he is a paranoid schizophrenic, although he very well could be.
He wrote the book. It has not been debunked. People criticize him, but they've never debunked what he says happened. Hello to everyone in chat. I'm not going to pay too much attention, and I'm only going to time people out if they start getting nasty. So David Schroeder connects me with Lucian Greaves for the simple reason, and this is how paranoid schizophrenia works. Two people are coincidentally on the same topic, but from different sides. And a paranoid schizophrenic thinks they must be in league with each other. David Schroeder's book was being sold by a man named Neil Brick, by a whole organization that Neil Brick was the founder of this organization called SMART, which is act that sells books like David Schroeder's True Confessional. They convince mentally ill people like David Schroeder to write these books. Especially, they probably took his name from the news stories of the family that was in the news being arrested. At some point in his young adulthood, somebody convinced him to write that book and then let them sell it. You see how it works? Because these true confession books are nothing but pornography. It's a vehicle to legally create child porn. And if you're mentally ill like David Schroeder, you might not even know that's what you're doing. Excuse me. Or if he does know that's what he's doing, I don't care. You know, he's got his own soul to burn in hell if that's what he wants to do. It's his business, not mine. So there is this simple factual basis that Neil Brick is the Massachusetts businessman who set up a nonprofit to sell satanic pornography disguised as true confession autobiographies. Neil Brick's group got connected with a state police captain in Massachusetts, a Massachusetts state police captain, the late Captain Thomas White. Thomas White was giving lectures. He was paid by Neil Brick. He was paid by a lot of people because he would give a lecture on how the police really investigate, because he was trying to counteract the satanic panic. Neil Brick and David Schroeder were making money off the satanic panic back in the 80s and 90s. David Schroeder actually came along later in the 2000s. And Captain White was active with Neil Brick's group in the 1990s because he thought they were trying to do the right thing. He didn't see the porn that came out later. For one thing, he died in the year 2000. And David Schroeder's book was being sold by Neil Brick in 2012. Okay. Now, Captain White is connected to me because in the 1990s, I was working with a group in Massachusetts of parents and law enforcement and teachers who were trying to come to grips with the emergence of what became the Satanic Temple.
Of course you were.
You see? So this is how we end up, we're in the same topic here. But obviously from different sides, different points of view. I did not know what years David Schroeder was involved with Neil Brick's book-selling conferences. Captain White was giving lectures at those same conferences in an effort to get people to understand the difference between, your freedom to believe whatever crazy nutcase stuff you want to believe, and the actual important evidence at a crime scene. Okay, so that people would, he was basically trying to push back the satanic panic stuff that was actually making it possible for people to get away with murder. All they had to do was drop a few pictures of pentacles and some kind of draw something on the wall, some kind of satanic symbol, and nobody would even investigate the crime. Everyone would be screaming and yelling, and satanic panic was protecting the killers. And this still goes on today. So that's how I got in touch with Schroeder. I saw Schroeder talking about Neil Brick. And after Captain White died, under what I believe to be suspicious circumstances, because Captain White was beginning to ask questions about my sister, the one that I just described, Remy.
Yeah, so Captain White fell down the stairs and died, but according to Denise, it was under suspicious circumstances, like her daughter's death. That was a suicide, but according to Denise, she was murdered. And apparently I had something to do with it all.
Burke, who was the executive secretary to vice presidents of GE, and she worked directly with Jack Welch. She handled GE's foreign executive travel, and she handled bringing in guests to their corporate management parties. And I babysat for her during those parties. So I know about them. I was present in the house as a teenager. I was present in the house when she and her husband, my brother-in-law, the late Joseph Burke Jr., when they argued because he did not like what was going on. But then after a while, he got okay with it. And what was going on was sexual performances by child prostitutes who were being flown in from other countries where child prostitution is perfectly legal in other cultures. They were being flown into Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and there were celebrities involved with those parties. Ask yourself, why did Alec Baldwin play the part of an executive, of GE executive, in an NBC TV series? He played poker regularly with those guys, which included my brother-in-law. He was part of that GE circle in Berkshire County. Meryl Streep owned, and this is stuff people can look up. You can look up that Meryl Streep owned a mansion, probably still does have a mansion property in Berkshire County. The Weinstein estate in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, that's Berkshire County, was part of a very interesting scandal over some really weird stuff happening with its legal real estate sales. Harvey Weinstein, all that stuff they have their stuff in Hollywood, and they also had a foot in Berkshire County. And GE's headquarters was Berkshire County. And the GE management parties involved management, a few celebrities, and child prostitutes. And my sister, Renee Burke, was actually responsible for handling, because of speaking fluent French, which just about everyone in my family at the time did. I mean, the younger generation doesn't, but our generation still spoke fluent French. So she would handle that stuff. So she, like I'm saying, I had my own family scandal that if I wanted to write a book about, I could. Schurter had a completely different scandal that he wrote a book about. Neil Brick's group was all around, and I had been approached several times while I was working with the group with Captain White, which was more regular, ordinary police work, who were trying to get a handle on this new wave of crime that had erupted in the
new wave of crime. What has Denise been up to lately, though?
Well, hello, whoever, wherever, whenever, whatever you are, however you got here, whatever you're doing. I'm sure you've heard about the cicada virus. There's one now. I am making cicada masks from thrift store underwear. Mine are too big. Anyway, you slide the leg holes over your ears and the breathable crotch goes over your mouth. I simply sew a maxi pad into the crotch to catch all the spit. For only $19.95, you can be safe from the deadly cicada virus.
So she's making masks for you guys for the new cicada virus. That's what she's currently doing. That's her current project.
Late 1980s and through the 1990s. And they were trying to protect their investigations from satanic panic interference. So I know all that background. Now, my daughter was killed in 2010, okay? So David Schroeder was involved with Neil Brick's group in the years that my daughter was killed. I know that my daughter's death had a lot to do with the fact that I had challenged Remy, and I had challenged her, and I had spoken up about GE, and people were laughing at me, but one or two would poke their nose into a little bit of research and say, oh, wait a minute, this stuff's real. This really happened.
One or two
She
people.
really is who she says she is. And then all of a sudden things change a little bit.
You mean like when Thomas said Denise is right about some things, and that just made you so excited and so fucking happy because Thomas said Denise is right about some things, which he was wrong. He was just doing that to love bomb you, but I remember you getting so excited about that.
Not much, but a little. So David Schroeder's illness causes him now to be making videos claiming I'm working in league with the Satanic Temple, simply because at the time I contacted him, which was shortly after my daughter was killed, there was a Boston news reporter named Doug Mesner. Lucian Greaves is not a real name. That's a fake name that Doug Mesner started using after that.
Now we got Denise talking about.
I don't have the dates in front of me of exactly when the Satanic Temple was incorporated, but Doug Mesner was a reporter for the Boston Examiner news. It's a regular, ordinary news outlet. And he was asking questions about some of the people who were involved with Captain White. There was a woman who was later arrested for embezzling money from battered women's shelters.
Oh, you heard it. Denise just said there was a cunt that was arrested.
Her name was Bobby Gagne, Bobbi, last name Gagne. And she was involved with a lot of the stuff that Doug Mesner, the Boston Examiner reporter, was investigating.
Kelly, I have spent as many hours as I feel like spending on Denise and Sugar and Thomas and the rest of them. I've said that before. I only give them the time that I feel like giving them. But that much time.
And somehow or other, he got in touch with me, or I got in touch with him. I forget exactly how it worked out. But the fact is, he was wondering what happened to my daughter and how I was connected to Bobby Gagne, which I explained to him was through Captain White.
Of course.
And Bobby Gagne was selling a book about herself, written the same as David Schroeder. Doug Mesner, the reporter for the Boston Examiner, and I separate that identity from Lucian Greaves because he decided to start acting as Lucian Greaves, and he got offered a lot of money because Neil Brick threatened, just like Sewertown thinks they're doing to me. Neil Brick threatened the Boston Examiner with a lawsuit if they continued to publish Doug Mesner's stories about Bobby Gagne and Neil Brick. Mesner was interested in Bobby Gagne because he knew that she was diagnosed with a serious psychotic ailment that's even worse than schizophrenia. This multiple personality disorder, they always give it different medical names, and they argue over whether it's real or not. But it's recognized as something that shows up in serious serial killer type cases. Unlike schizophrenia, which usually just shows up in somebody like David Schroeder, who rants. I mean, whatever, God bless him. A lot of you listen to his rantings, there's a lot of factual material in there, but then he does, like I said, he does this mental illness thing of saying that because I spoke to him and was somehow confused in his mind with Lucian Greaves, Doug Mesner speaking to him at the same time. And when I spoke to him, I remember him telling me he believed I was Lucian Greaves. And I said, no. I said, I'm only interested in whether or not you were speaking about your book at the same event. There were events at which Captain White also spoke. I wanted to get some eyewitness information from from David Schurter, if he had been at the same conference at the same time. Eventually, he told me no. He was there. He was working with Neil Brick in 2012, which was after my daughter died. Captain White was killed in the year 2000, 10 years before my daughter died. So he never crossed paths. Schurter was still writing his book. He hadn't even published it yet, or Brick hadn't published it, or whatever, when Captain White was involved with these same people. And I believe Captain White's death has something to do with the fact that he was challenging what they were doing. And a lot of his challenge had to do with things I was showing him about the money moving through GE. He went up into Vermont and he asked questions about my niece, Lori Zeif. Zeif. You will find her, put in Lori, Loree. Her maiden name was Burke because she's my sister's daughter.
She's doxing her whole fucking family.
She has picked up the family business, you might call it, for my sister's family business. That's why I said to the whole New England bunch of us, I said, y'all go to hell, I'm going to Texas. And I've lived here since the year 2000.
That's right. She's an implant in Texas. She left because she took a trip to the fucking terrible zoo.
Here, kitty, kitty. The terrible zoo.
So, anyway, that's my explanation of what David Schurter's doing. He's confused. I'm not going to try to argue with him. Like I say, bless his heart. When he starts speaking about things that he has experienced, you can pick through and pick out the facts for yourself. And you can see how these people attack. What's interesting, what you can't tell, if you read the letter that he's published a copy of, it's the same letter I got. I put the part of it in the thumbnail of my live stream. I think he said he's going to publish the whole thing. It was sent out to a bunch of people. And it's the sex trafficking ring that includes Terry Joyce. She's involved in this. She's not named in it, but she's part of Jesse Davis's team there. They're apparently getting very nervous because a case that I wondered about, there was somebody arrested for horrific sex abuse of newborn babies. Guy named William Amick. And he had been active in the same puzzle game circles as Pavana Davis, Jesse Davis, and Thomas Schoenberger.
Denise, I've said it a billion times. I've never been involved in any of these fucking online puzzle weird things at all, ever. Never partook in any of that crap. I thought it was all a hoax. I thought it was all ridiculous. The first time I even learned of the puzzle shit was when Pavana had her breakdown, and I started looking into what happened. I never had a role in any of that.
And Thomas Schoenberger just posted in his channel, Sophia Music. You can find it both ways, because it's the YouTube thing is at Sophia Music, SOPHIA MUSIK, or Thomas Schoenberger. It's also the official name of the channel, and it has a picture of himself as a young man is the avatar, and it's all his music productions. But he posts stuff that's going on, like he posted about this letter, because of course he's named in it. And he's posting about the fact that the case against William Amick for horrific sexual abuse and filming it and producing, not just possession of child porn, but actual production, meaning filming himself torturing a newborn baby. It's about this is the worst you can get. And his trial is fine, because I had asked a while back, I said, whatever happened to that? Did he get off? And I know that Schoenberger had said to me that he thought maybe he was in witness protection or something. They were trying to get what they could out of him. Now they're coming forward. So whatever he's had to say, apparently he's told them. Whatever deal they made for, he's not going to get the death penalty or whatever.
All right, John, we'll take a look at that. I can't just grab the clip, so I'll have to share the screen. So bear with me a minute here, because I'll have to cancel the echo or whatever on my mic settings so y'all can hear it, hopefully. Let's see. Echo cancellation off. Okay. Let's see if we can do this here. Okay. We're gonna take Denise down. Then we'll add this. Let me make sure the volume is turned up here. We'll make it a bigger screen. Whoops. Can't make it a bigger screen because then I can't hit my damn buttons. But okay, here we go.
Are you familiar with that Twitter account?
He's a good friend of Jim's, I guess.
What? He is.
Yeah.
He's got various accounts.
He's a
But
wonderful guy.
What? The current one is either friendly.
Oh, well, you're friendly E, actually. That's his new.
He's, the same person verified himself to me as these accounts have switched. So
I won't reveal it here, Jim, but privately I'll tell you who that is.
What?
I'll tell you
I
privately.
don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Oh, you don't want to know. Okay.
No.
Lightning striking all over the world. There's lightning striking all over the world. There's lightning striking all over the world. There's lightning striking all over the world.
I understand that, and the thing about going back to Eat Friendly, he used part of the March 2019 cicada puzzle, and this is a man with tremendous insights.
Alrighty then.
So I believe that he's serving a good cause.
What?
Wow.
Run.
I believe that he gives comfort to people.
What?
Run.
I also believe that he's indicating to the world that the Q movement is now going to go into the investigation of corruption.
What?
Run.
With the ballot box that we witnessed over the last couple of days. And I believe that is going to be a very, very healthy mechanism.
What?
Run.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I have to. Let me fix my echo canceling. Okay. Wow. So, if you guys remember, I talked one time about Thomas claiming that I was actually E the friend. I was the I spy, supposedly, I the spy or whatever, because Thomas had, searched my social media and found my old I Spy 4U1 page about the city corruption. And that's where he grabbed the videos of the police and all kinds of crazy shit. And he accused me of being I the spy. Yeah. And so now we know Thomas was friends and claimed that this E the friend character, who's a pedophile, Thomas was buddies with him. And you just heard Thomas making all kinds of praises about the guy. But Thomas was also buddies with Ghost 3301, who he also tries to claim everybody else is tied to, when in fact Thomas was the one tied to Ghost 3301, Dustin Reddy. Not me or anybody else. Thomas was tied to both of these actual convicted, proven pedophiles. Wow, Thomas. Amazing what kind of friend you hang out with there, buddy. Amazing what kind of friend you hang out with, Thomas. And the guys that you call your friends and you praise them. Interesting.
That's not how you cook it.
You burned my wiener!
I never touched your wiener.
You burned my wiener! Was that your only wiener? I want a wiener! Choke on it!
That's how you eat a wiener.
I need me some Teddy time.
Night, Tommy boy.
Night, mad cow. Night, Teddy. Good night, Teddy.
Yes, yes, John. He is his own worst enemy. He's his own worst enemy. And he picks some of the dumbest people to go to battle for him because most of them end up telling on themselves and him as well. Yeah, he's not very good at this fucking game, if you want to call it a game. Everybody else seems to think it's a game. He's not very good at this shit. He is definitely his own worst enemy.
I don't know. But now it's going to come up, according to Thomas Schoenberger, the Amick case is revived and alive and is coming up before a judge in the near future, which I think must be why Sewertown has sent this letter out. I mean, he sent it to about 8 or 9 different people that are listed at $12 a pop, and maybe more depending on what part of the country you're in. I don't know exactly. I know the priority mail rates do differ from place to place, but it cost him $12 to send it to me. So he spent close to $100 just sending out a fake legal threat telling us we all going to be sued. And anyway, I just wanted to explain, you know, since Schurter's decided to start claiming that I'm in league with Lucian Greaves again, I just want to explain to people that it's perfectly logical what's happening. Schurter's illness prevents him from understanding that my interest in what he had to say, because I wasn't interested in the drama, I just wanted some factual information, which he did give me. He finally said, no, he was there in 2012. And he never met anyone named Thomas White. I said, well, yeah, because by the time you were there, he was dead. So they weren't.
What I find funny is Thomas and Denise and Schurter, they keep saying this fake, not legal cease and desist letter. But does Denise not realize Thomas sent a similar cease and desist letter, not put together quite as well as mine was, but Thomas sent one out to a lot of people also. Yeah, a while back, a few years ago, which I found hilarious because I sent Thomas Schoenberger a cease and desist letter all the way back in 2018. So he was already told, stop this stupid shit or else. But he's continued on for 8.5 years. And then all of a sudden, all these years later, he sent me a cease and desist letter. And, but yet they're going to call this a fake letter, right? What the fuck? Make it make sense.
Their paths did not cross, but they were both being exploited by the same man, Neil Brick. And Doug Mesner, who later became Lucian Greaves, it was in connection with that whole thing that he became Lucian Greaves, because Doug Mesner was exposing Neil Brick's game. And I was trying to get him to write directly about the role that these people had in killing my daughter. But he didn't really want to get involved with that, but he was really curious about Agnew, who worked with my niece, Laurie Zeef. Laurie Zeef is very crucial in moving money and influence in the state of Vermont. She's a state official at the county level now in the mental health departments. She's in charge of getting children taken away from anyone that threatens the family business.
Oh, geez.
That's what she does for a living.
That's a pretty...
My brother was a state official at the
statement.
level up in Vermont. He was involved with the Yankee nuclear power plant, and he was the decommissioning of it, the dispersion and disposal of the dirty, radiated water and stuff like that. He was part of all that.
Let me guess, Denise. Was he selling the uranium to Iran? Was he, Denise?
Remy Burke was responsible for a lot of favor trading. Her son, Joseph Burke III, her husband was Joseph Burke Jr. Her son, Joseph Burke III, he's deceased now, was charged in a double homicide having to do with the killing of a GE Union steward's son.
What does all this have to do with David Schroeder or your cease and desist letter? I don't get it.
Because that union steward was also a potential threat to the family business, because he could have blown a whistle on what Remy was really doing as part of her job at GE. She was in charge of the ordnance the computer that handled ordnance, which is weapons, Defense Department contracts. You have to have a very high CIA security clearance to be in charge of the computer that handles those contracts.
Uh-huh.
She was in charge of that for years while she ran this other business through that computer.
So,
you see?
So, Denise, are you telling us that she had a Q clearance through the CIA? Is that what you're telling us, Denise?
Anyway, let me go see what's happening in chat. I hope people are behaving themselves. David Attenborough's birthday.
Your three chatters?
Happy birthday, David. Oh, yes. I saw a video about him and a parrot that was hilarious. David Attenborough and the amorous parrot. Okay, Stay Rhodes wants a question. I don't see a question. Answer, hi. Hi, okay, whatever. I like your shirt. Okay, thank you. So Shay Rhodes likes to get said hello to. Somebody says, didn't Stephen King do similar things with IT? I don't know, probably. Party Boy wants me to write the book. I wish I could organize myself enough to. I've tried several times. But I'm going to try again. That's all I can say. And that's it. Nobody else has been showing up as far as I can see.
Nope, only 3 of them.
We're almost up to half an hour, so I'm going to wish you all the best. And please share this out, because the level of lying and disinformation that's going on, I do believe it's part of a campaign to confuse people about what's going on with that William Amick case. If that, they're going to try to keep that out of the headlines. You're going to have to go looking for that, and it's going to be worth looking for. That's William Amick, A-M-I-C-K.
Yeah, we just took a look at who he is, Denise. He's one of Thomas's buddies. We just took a look at that. We listened to Thomas praising the guy.
And if you look at Thomas Schoenberger's Sophia Music channel, look at his postings. Subscribe so that you will get his postings.
We just looked
because he keeps things up to date.
Uh-huh.
For all of the crazy drama and other stuff he might be involved in elsewhere, he does keep a pretty good, factually realistic, fact-based updates on all the legal stuff, because he is actually involved in a lawsuit up in Michigan.
Yeah, that's the lawsuit that got thrown out of the Wayne County Court. Yeah, that lawsuit, Denise. And nothing Thomas posts is factual, Denise.
He might be, well, if you're going to treat this letter that Sewertown sent out as a legal notice, which technically it legally counts as a cease and desist.
Oh, wait. Earlier she said it was a bogus letter and it wasn't legal. Now she's saying technically it counts as a legal cease and desist. You're right, Denise, it does. It is a legal cease and desist.
And my response to the cease and desist is, come over here and make me. I don't have to cease and desist anything. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Oh, you're gonna.
See, that's the thing about cease and desist. Nobody's required to obey you. The only thing you're doing when you send somebody a cease and desist is you're setting it up so that you can then go to court and say, Your Honor, I sent her a cease and desist and she told me where to stick it.
That's right. So then we can seek legal action against you, and you will have to stop. You're right, Denise. That's what it's all about. So keep on keeping on, Denise.
And then you can sue to your heart's content. And my answer to that is bring it. Give it everything you've got.
We'll see.
Because you've got nothing.
Uh-huh.
Thank you all. Denise Matteau. Over and out.
Thank you, all three of you that were there in her chat. All three of you. Thank you. She appreciates you visiting. Yes, she certainly does. Wow, the crazy has just been crazy. I think we're gonna play out. Jesus, I don't even know what to say about their stupidity anymore. I just don't know. The delusions are real. They all need to get on some medication. Yeah, they all need some serious medication. Yeah, I'll say if she needs bus money to get to court, I'll be happy to provide the bus fare or get her an Uber, but yeah, that's just crazy. Like I said, at this point, I don't even know what to say anymore. But keep it up, guys. The clock is ticking. The clock is definitely ticking, guys.
I work in the sewer, it's a very hard job. You know they won't hire just any old slob. You don't have to wear a tie or a coat. You just have to know how to float. We sing the song of the sewer. Of the sewer, we sing this song. Together we stand with shovel in hand to keep things rolling along. Named Bruce, and we are in charge of all the refuse. He lets me go first while he holds the lid. I'm telling you, sheesh, what a sweet kid. We sing the song of the sewer. Of the sewer, we sing this song. Together we stand with shovel in hand to keep things rolling along. Ooh, a funny thing happened to Bruce yesterday. The tide came along, he got carried away. He come out in Jersey, but it's okay now, 'cause that's where he lives anyhow. We sing the song of the sewer. Of the sewer, we sing this song. Sing the song. Together we stand with shovel in hand to keep things rolling along. Billy Baba, Dooley Beaver, my father, he worked in a sewer uptown. I followed his footsteps and worked my way down. That's how I began in this here industry. I just sort of fell into it. Lucky me. We sing the song of the sewer. Sing that song. Of the sewer, we sing this song. This is the song. Together we stand with shovels in hand to keep things rolling along.
As usual, everybody, peace out. Thanks for hanging out tonight. I hope you all have a great week. And we'll be keeping an eye on the crazies from the terrible zoo. Until next time, man, have a great one.